United States is about to address the nation from the Oval Office. Here now is the President.
We will rock you. We will rock you. We will rock you. Some may ask, why rock out now? The answer is clear. These are the times that rock men's soul. I instructed our military commanders to totally rock America. And I repeat those well-known words over and over again. We will rock you. And I repeat this over and over again. Over and over again. And I repeat this over and over again. Over and over again. We will rock you. Some may ask, why rock out now? The answer is clear.
The facts are clear.
The answer is clear.
That's why I really believe, that's why I really believe, that's why I believe.
All right. Welcome to your morning turns to darkness. Oh shit, hold on. Welcome to your morning turns to darkness. My name is Grady George. How you doing? Back at it again. Back at it again in the morning. I've got some crazy plan now. I'm going to do a morning show and a nighttime show. Let me see here. Okay, cool. So, how are you guys doing today? Good to see you, Mitch. He's giving the elbow coughs. So, yeah, my new plan is, like, I'm going to get up at, like, 4 o'clock in the morning. And I'm going to do the morning show, and then I'm just going to, like, go to sleep. Whenever I wake up, like today, I've been up all night once again. So after the show, I'm going to go to sleep. And then I am going to wake up after 8 hours, and then I'm going to get up and I'm going to start working on this show, or the night show. And then after the night show's over, I'm just going to stay up all night and work on this show. I doubt this is going to fucking happen. You know what I mean? God damn it. A little dancing dude. What are you talking? It looks like a little dancing dude, but yeah. I wanted to check out this video.
At you, yeah. Oh, fuck,
Back! No, I'm not off any shit right now. What are you talking about, Doss? Bro, what the fuck? You know me in real life. I'm literally drunk. Dude, I'm drunk. I took some Suboxone and I'm drunk.
Willie update, he's alive, but not well.
We just left the hospital. I was at the hospital most of the day today.
okay. I'm sorry.
Not you.
Sorry. That was
He's doing better. He's got a little bit of ways to go, but he's doing better. Like he can like
This is the Blade House. It's about what happened yesterday, like last night. Somehow, Beck is over here hanging out again. I have no idea how or why. And her new boyfriend is that guy in the hospital that's like brain dead. And I'm not buying this shit. You know what I mean? I'm really not buying it. I don't think she's going out with the brain dead guy. I think the guy might have went to the hospital, but I bet he's not. I bet he's back in Ohio or whatever now. I don't think Beck and Blade are even breaking up. I think this is just all part of the fucking bullshit.
talk right now.
Yeah.
A little bit.
He did talk one time. He said, fire sale. I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking. Hey, please tell me I'm not joking.
No, he did do that.
You ready?
Stay back! Is that George Floyd? George, listen to me. Please, listen to me. Please. I want you to hear something before you do whatever you're about to do. I want you to know, look at my hair.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Say, yeah, dap me up. Dap me up. Hug me. You are my brother, George. You are my brother. Oh my God, you smell good. God damn. I don't know if that's part of the skit, but you smell good. Yeah. Oh, what? Oh, no. Pour one out for the George. Pour one out for George. Hold up. Let's help out. Let's pour one out for George. Oh, one out for George. Just a little bit.
And like, I don't understand what's going on here, right? Like, they got some guy dressed up like George Floyd to deliver a Old English to Blade here.
Oh shit.
It looks like.
Oh.
Yeah.
George. You know what's good? Oh shit. Hey. Who's about you? Fly out. I'm supposed to. I gotta leave.
You can clock in later. Babe, we have these fucking viewers.
Oh, someone just asked me.
She's got a man in the hospital, and I'm her ex. Imagine waking up out of a fucking coma, and a couple times, every time Beck was there, okay? But a couple times, one time Sam was there, I don't know if Tone visited, and I've been there like a handful of times, right? That would be really odd for me. If I broke up with a girl, but I had to go to that girl's house to pick up my shit, and then I fucking almost died on a kitchen counter at that girl's house, and we woke up, and then my girl and her new man came to the hospital and like, hey, what's up, Willie? The fucking lit shit about this, guys, is, you know what, the only thing Willie ever said was fire sale, okay?
No, well, that day, that's all he said.
Yes. So, now, he's still in the hospital, and Willie's family is not in funding the fucking hotel rooms. Sorry, Willie's family, for the situation.
Keep in mind, Jesse,
Beck,
you bring
I have an extra room. I'm getting kicked out. I'm not even gonna be streaming that much. Beck is staying in the other room. So all you guys go
That's
this.
actually not
Oh.
true. Don't say that because
Let him hit my last Newport. Whatever. Okay. All right. Okay, I understand schedules and you're near a store or whatever.
Fuck a schedule, dude.
All right.
So bring a schedule up to me.
You ain't gonna catch me.
I mean,
No. To a normal fucking listen. To a normal fucking fruitcake that doesn't smoke cigs, you'd be like, why? You can't smoke on a plane?
why?
Shut up, dude. Shut up.
Chat. He's saying something.
I'm telling you, shut up. I'm telling a fucking story here, dude.
Talk to him. Talk to him.
Okay. Here's my reasoning, dude. There's land in Tampa and figure it out. And I'm gonna be like, no. And this is the reason why, dude.
Fuck them.
Hey, God.
That's why I be hitting the vape on the
Stop!
Sorry.
No, Willie's paying for me. Willie's paying for me. Shit. Willie's paying for me.
he probably will.
He will, dude. He'll probably work.
He's such a nice guy.
He's gonna be lit.
Honestly,
at the
he's a nice
sound
guy,
of my
probably.
mouth. Full fire sales.
You know what? He's never getting lit again. Is what he's doing.
Oh, look at that dark rap.
Not around us, probably.
Shut down your party, dude. What? You're not gonna let him party, dude?
No.
The fuck? You know he's built the party, right? He's built the party.
Really? That's
What a
why.
soul.
No.
He don't need to be doing that.
That's why he's in the hospital.
I've been in the hospital.
Inside, I always blow bubbles inside for my kids.
I did that. I'm just letting you know. I did do
On you all the time. Okay?
Oh, about that.
About that. This is where, like, no offense to you because it's just like someone that's good looking, but you know what, guys?
Oh, by the way, I stole this clip from someone who stole this clip. I guess that's why it's on there twice.
Had I wanted to cheat on Blade, I would have cheated with Casey because Casey's fine as fuck, and I had the opportunity to, but I did.
You know, but she did fuck Captain Content. I have been able to verify that. I will not say how.
Stop.
Everybody knows it anyway. But there's been doubt. There is no doubt. She fucked Captain Content.
Pause.
I have the proof.
Stop. Pause, dude. She's about to spill a
And I
bot.
did not.
She's about to spill a Boston Tea Harbor of tea.
Boston.
Beck, why did you kiss Chicken Andy? Beck, why
Quiet
did you
on the
kiss
set,
Chicken Andy?
dude.
Beck, why did
Fuck
you
off,
kiss Chicken
house.
Andy?
You
Beck,
big
why did
me.
you kiss Chicken
Let me
Andy?
answer that.
Beck, why did you kiss Chicken
The Chicken Andy thing was obviously bullshit. You know what I mean? That one was that night.
Let me answer that.
Anonymous donated $3. You actually expect us to believe that you boning chicken was a planned thing between you and Blade?
But I don't know. My theory is that, you know, just based on the health problems we know about Blade, most likely there's absolutely no way he can get an erection. You know what I mean? I mean, if anyone's ever had erectile dysfunction, it's Blade. You know what I mean?
Is that why he doesn't
No, I
remember
didn't
the
bone
conversation?
chicken or bo-
Is that why?
So my theory is that, you know, Blade can't fuck anyway. So he like lets her fuck some of these other streamers.
He was clearly upset and heartbroken? No job, no money, no house, no car, Beck.
Wait. Everyone hydrate.
So,
Chat,
Chicken was
you want-
pissed
Stop, dude.
Oh, my
This
bad.
is factual.
Chicken was pissed off about the Alice shit. Blade went on to Alice. I was pissed off about that shit too. But Blade does that all the time with Lit. So it's a little embarrassing as a girlfriend to see that. But I got that that's his stream shit, right? I thought after 3 years, maybe it'd get a little better. But, you know, whatever.
Baby, come back.
So anyway,
Blade,
Chicken
come
was really
back.
pissed off with him.
You can blame
That
it
night,
all
I was
on
really pissed
Saint.
off with Blade because he was all over Gucci's. And I was sitting right there.
I was never all good to.
Oh, that's a lot of factual
Stop.
and factual.
Stop.
Were you were there?
That's some. I watched. No, I wasn't there.
I think you were there, weren't you?
No,
No.
You recorded us. You
Wait.
were.
Oh, I guess that's it. Let's look at my recommendations here. All right. Meh. Yeah, Blade. I've been watching this Blade House, and I actually have a pending interview with somebody that's in the Blade House. So I've been kind of watching it. Just I've been watching that person. Trying to get some information. So I started picking up on a lot of shit. Other people. And first of all, I enjoy watching Tone. I think he's a really good streamer in that he's always very interesting. But this guy is like really out of control. Everywhere he goes, if he streams with another live streamer, they at some point OD and end up in the hospital. This has happened. There's been 2 people in the Blade House already had to go to the hospital. There's that Willie guy, and Blade himself went to the hospital one night as well. Tone took him there, but it wasn't for a drug overdose. But Blade was pretty fucked up on something, and his fucking leg literally looked like it had to be fucking cut off. Now, what they did was, when I saw his leg, I thought for sure it was getting cut off. So he goes to the hospital, and they stick a fucking rag, like a huge like washcloth looking rag, and they have like a thing that they shove it up in the hole. So they just start sticking this rag up in this fucking hole on this dude's leg until it's completely gone. There's just like a little piece sticking out where you could rip it out. And I was like, man, with an abscess like that, it's got to be down to the fucking bone. But he's still out here walking around and stuff, and I see that his dentures are I don't know, like his face seems to be changing now that he has dentures. I don't know what you guys think. Oh, it looks like you were trying to represent the dancing dude. I got you. Yeah, it actually comes up and says what it is. When I'm looking at the chat through. Well, I don't think they're the worst. I mean, I actually think there are some worse people, online streamers. Like I said, I think Blade and Beck are a little bit like full of shit about a lot of shit. I don't think stuff is as bad as it seems with them, and I also think that they fake shots. That's been proven. So I'm wondering, like, with his health problems and shit. I mean, he's constantly going down and getting more Jaeger, like every fucking day. But the other people are drinking it too. So I don't know. I don't know what to think about those. But anyway, so it looks like let's take a look at the news for today. And see what we got going on. Got the top stories here. All right. Okay, the big news today is that Trump Georgia indictment. What do you guys think about that? Because I was looking at Google News earlier, and they have like a fact check. Here we go. I don't know if you guys can see this very well, but let me take your comment off. Hold on. So under fact check, it says, was Trump indicted for everyday actions as allies claimed? Hold on. It says, claim. Says the Georgia indictment of Donald Trump seeks to criminalize everyday activities like tweeting that you're watching TV, reserving rooms for meetings, and asking someone for a phone number. It says fact checked by PolitiFact, not what indictment says. Now, I don't know if you can see every other story. These other three stories are all about like laser beams being used to spread the Hawaii fires. And somebody was posting some like Cleveland video saying it was in Hawaii or something, but they all say false straight up, right? This one says, the one about Trump says, not what indictment says. Now, what does that mean exactly? You know? Not what indictment says. Well, I was looking at the indictment, and in it, let me quote this, Act 22. On or about 3rd day of December 2020, Donald J. Trump caused to be tweeted from the Twitter account at Real Donald Trump, quote, Georgia hearings now on at OANN. Amazing. End of quote. This is an overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy. Now, what do you think about that charge? I mean, do you think that something illegal happened there? When he tweeted out that he was watching the Georgia hearings on OANN and said it was amazing. And yeah, one of the other indictments is he literally like they booked a conference room to talk about doing a recount with his electors after the election. And they said that was part of the conspiracy. Weaponization of the Justice Department, Banana Republic stuff. They said Trump was going to do this when he ran. Now they're the ones actually doing it. Bad times ahead for the U.S. Well, I think my personal opinion is that, yeah, there's a reason why Trump got elected that first time. And it's not because people love The Apprentice and all that fucking shit. And it's not for the fact that people necessarily even like Donald Trump. It's the fact that they do want some of these fucking people arrested. I mean, I don't know how many election cycles we've had where there's been people that have been caught causing, committing major crimes, and they get off scot-free. The FBI won't even look at them. I mean, what was it? Hillary had 110 classified documents that she sent to other people from her personal email address on her home server that anybody could, and in fact, it was hacked into it. Because that's how that, what was that guy's name? Guccifer or something like that? Fucking guy. Because what I'm saying is, like, when you're using your home computer to send documents and shit, you're at a much higher, hacking risk. And that's exactly what happened. Now, my opinion is she was selling secrets. So basically what she would do is she knew somebody was hacked into her computer, right? She probably got a donation to the Bill and Hillary Haiti Fund, because that's how they operate. They had a Haiti Fund. Nobody got any fucking money from except for Bill and Hillary. And they said they could fucking use that money because they use it to pay their lawyer fees or something. Should be in prison just for that, right? And we could go into a whole lot of other shit, but my personal opinion is she was selling secrets. She would send it to somebody from her personal email address, knowing that her fucking computer was hacked into. they would retrieve the information that way, and then if anybody ever found out this information, got out there, she could claim that she didn't know she was hacked and all that shit. That's what I think happened there. But she had 110 classified documents that when was she fucking president? You know what I mean? Trump was actually president. When the fuck was Hillary fucking president? Where was she getting all these fucking classified documents from? That she supposedly could have, I guess. I don't know. No FBI investigation, no nothing. So, yeah. Trump used that during his campaign. They wanted to lock up Hillary, right? So it's funny now that they're trying to, out of all the politicians in the history of the United States that deserve to be locked up, and nothing ever happened to them at all. And to be honest with you, I could almost see it, the justification for it, because I understand some people, if you locked them up, it would cause a huge fucking problem. But you at least have to publicly acknowledge that possibly, like Hillary, for instance, they need to come out and say she fucking did something, man, that wrong. At least, But they completely cover for her, like, she has done no wrong. And by the way, remember Anthony Weiner? That guy had classified documents on his computer that Hillary had sent to other people from her personal email address. So he was hacked, and he had it in a file called insurance, right? Because he got caught sending these cock pics to like underage girls, right? So the New York Police Department confiscated his laptop, and they found a file in there called insurance. And it has some of these classified documents. So he had like a blackmail file on Hillary Clinton himself, Just in case, she ever crossed him, he could threaten her with these documents, They're going after him because the election officials made a mistake and let in Trump's people to check for fraud. That's not Trump's fault. No, not at all. In my opinion, I know there's a lot of people out there that will say that it is his fault, And what do you know about the mistake, Mitch? Because I haven't, I don't know exactly. I mean, you seem to know a lot about it. What is the main thing they got him on in Georgia? Because a lot of stuff I've been reading about sounds pretty fucking hokey, man. Trump did nothing that Hillary did not do as well. So did many others. Yeah, that's what I was just saying, man. It goes way, way back. People getting caught doing shit, and nothing happens to them. The focus is on Trump, though, because he wants to lock people up, right? I have no doubt. Trump went to the White House and wanted to lock some people up. He quickly found out he couldn't do it, right? So now they're trying to lock him up. And to be honest with you, I feel it's very obvious that they're trying to lock up the top candidate for the election. If you look at the polls on the Republican side, he's leading by so fucking far, right? So he's obviously going to be the candidate against Biden. So they're trying to lock this guy up, and I'm very concerned about the timing of it too. Like, this trial is going to start in March of 2024. So a lot of these trials are going to be starting up right around when the campaign season really is kicking off. So they're going to try to keep him, locked away in the courtroom so he can't fucking go, campaign and shit. But I think this shit's going to backfire on him, to be honest with you. I don't think anyone cares. I think even if they put him in prison, they're still going to vote for him. I'm pretty sure. We all know any excuse is good because they are terrified of him winning and going after their corrupt ass. Yeah, exactly. I mean, this shit about Trump is like trying to sell shit for personal gain is bullshit, man. It's like no fucking way that guy would do that for that little amount of money. But that's the exact kind of coin these politicians usually take, right? So it sounds like something because they only make like what 30,000 a year or whatever it is now, 40,000 a year. I don't know what they make, but it's not very much. All these motherfuckers retire like 100 millionaires, you know? Not even just a millionaire. Like they got like 100 million each doing a public servant job, you know? So I guess if he becomes president, he can pardon himself, right? I don't really know for sure. Like I don't understand how that works. It is. I mean, I was watching some show one night, and the guy starts going, they need to go in, and they need to. The founding fathers didn't mean for a president to be serving from behind bars. They need to go in and change that, you know. And this person was acting like between now and the election, they could change that to where a president, you know, can't be elected while they're, you know, serving time or ever again. I think because. You know, when you're a felon, you can't even vote, man. But yeah, I guess. I mean, if he gets elected president, I guess he can just like pardon himself. I would imagine he can pardon other people. Why couldn't he pardon himself if he's president and he's in prison? But to me, it's just a travesty. Like they don't want to take Trump on, you know, head on. They're trying to fuck with him. You know, the last election when they were cutting his mic during the debates and shit, I couldn't even believe that was going on, man. I feel obligated to support him because of this witch hunt. He's actually rising in the polls every time they do this. Yeah, that's like me, man. I'm sort of like, you know, I gave thought about DeSantis, you know. After giving thought about DeSantis, I do not like DeSantis. I think he's a plant. You know, it used to be that guy. He's the guy from here in Texas. What's his name? The senator. Once again, I'm drawing a blank with names I fucking know. Ted Cruz, right? It used to be Ted Cruz, but Ted Cruz is not. No one trusts Ted Cruz anymore in the Trump camp, right? So they always got a guy that's against the Bushes, and when you look into him, it turns out they're in the Bush camp. You know what I mean? They're like Bush's best buddies. They've actually like helped him every step of the way, and through the whole time, they're just like screaming about how they hate the Bushes and stuff. You know, it's like controlled opposition, right? You make everybody think that you hate them, and that way, like when they don't vote for you, they'll vote for this fucking guy. You know, because they think that he must really, you know, be the opposite of you because, you know, you hate him so much. What about CNN Town Hall? That was planned to be like an hour longer, but they had to end it early because they got destroyed. Yeah, man, I would have kept that on. You know, as a television station, I mean, I'm sure you got Trump on there. I'm sure the numbers were good. This debate they got coming up without Trump, I mean, who the fuck is going to watch that? Trump's got like a 40-point lead on any of them, you know? Like, why are we even having the fucking debates, you know? I mean, you guys think well, I mean, I guess you have to think there's a possibility Is there any possibility Trump can't run at all? Like, if he gets locked up by a certain time, is there any way he could like be taken out from all these indictments somehow? You know what I mean? Because from what I've heard, he can't be. That if he gets convicted and goes to prison, he can still run for president. So, yeah, I think that he's going to be in prison and when the election's going on. I really do. I mean, I guess he can appeal and all that shit and stay out. So I don't see, like, I'm sure he can, like, get out on appeal, even if he's been, convicted. And he won't be in actual prison yet until after the election, I would say. I've heard from many lawyers and experts that there is no legal way to not let him run. He will run and people will vote for him. That's what I'm saying. Like, why bother doing this? I mean, I guess they think that they can, like, keep him out of the spotlight, keep him tied up in the courtroom. It's kind of a similar thing to what they did to Alex Jones, in my opinion. I mean, leading up to his, civil trial where he got like, how much does Alex Jones owe to people that he never mentioned their names or anything? Like $1 trillion or something like that, Like, I don't even know how they won that case. Like, he never even said their name. None of them could prove that, they lost their job or, financially got hurt by anything, anyone said. One person had somebody shot their car in their driveway. It had a bullet hole in their car. And they used that to say that that's because Alex Jones was talking about him. But when I was in college, somebody shot my fucking car. You know what I mean? I think it's pretty normal. Sometimes people get drunk and they just start shooting the fucking gun out in the fucking neighborhood. Like shooting people's cars just parked on the fucking street and shit. But that wasn't, I mean, the whole point, in my opinion, of that was they kept Alex Jones pretty much in court the entire last election cycle. He was constantly being called in, like every fucking day to, he would have all these guest hosts on during that time, the whole entire time, So I think that's the same thing they're kind of doing to Donald Trump. Like, they're charging him with all this shit. They're going to try to keep him locked in, because there's like more than one trial is probably going to be going on at that time, right? So, yeah, he might not actually be in prison, but he's going to have to be traveling all over. I mean, I don't even know like how they're going to do that. They can't have all those trials at one time, could they? Is that normal? Can they actually do that, or do they have to wait until one trial is over and then do the other trial? Even this lawyer that voted against Trump admits there's no way he cannot run. Yeah, I couldn't believe the amount of shows that were like championing that. You know what I mean? Like Drunken Peasants, for instance. And by the way, they had a great show on last night. I watched it. Let me grab the clip here, a little still here. It's Drunken Peasants from last night. We got Ben there, and then Billy, and then there's that Magicus is there. It was a good show. But anyway, like, I feel like some of the people that they go after, based on the Alex Jones ruling, I feel like they could be sued straight up. Like, nothing even has to happen to the guy at this point because nothing happened to those people. You know? And the person that they're targeting the most lives in Texas, where that verdict was handed down. So I don't know why there's like, I mean, if I was doing a show like them, I would not want Alex Jones to be sued over nothing like that. You know what I mean? But they just love it. You know, like they think that he deserves like $1 trillion fine. I mean, how the hell can you award $1 trillion judgment? You know what I mean? Well, they're sending a message. What message, man? The guy was covering the same news everybody else was. You know? What he got basically fucking fucked for was he talked to a guy who published a book about the subject that was available on Amazon.com and was published by some book publisher who they were not named and they're not being sued. You know what I mean? So I'm saying, I mean, Amazon's selling a fucking book. Some publisher published this fucking book. Alex Jones has this guy on as a guest, and they go after Alex Jones. I mean, come on, dude. Yeah, Magicus is a cone head. I don't know if you notice. He's got like a cone head, and it goes up into a cone, and then his headphones like sit on top of the cone, like an inch off the rest of his fucking head. Those people cheering that on deserve everything they're going to get. I have no sympathy for any of them. I hope they get what they deserve, you know? I think all this shit has a chance to backfire, but I don't know, man. My worry is just they're going to start some fucking like giant fucking like the mother of all wars, dude. Now, in that event, can they suspend the election? If, like, you know, it's like U.S. and allied forces versus Russia, and then maybe China gets involved to defend Russia. And I mean, it's just going fucking down, dude. Maybe somebody launches a nuke bomb and it hits somewhere in the U.S. Can they suspend the election? I don't know. I haven't looked into it. Is there any way the election could get suspended for any reason? Because I did have somebody tell me that if there was like a world war or something broke out, that they could like stay in there possibly. But I don't know. Oh, by the way, today I'm multicasting on the Drizzle Live channel. Not on Drizzle's channel, but the secondary channel for Drizzle Live. And if anyone's interested in joining that channel, it is you can find it at drizzlelive.com. And I'm going to start putting my shit on that, backing my shows up on that channel as well. My live stuff only. And then also I wanted to say that I have a Discord. I've had it for a while. I haven't really been using it, and I haven't been promoting it. But you can find the invite link in the description of this video. And you can see it right there on the screen. And I'm also at Grady George 1 on Instagram if you're interested in following me there. It'd be great. And the other thing I would like to ask, I would like to actually beg any of you, and I don't even know if you guys can even help me out. Rumble.com/Grady George. I really want to put this stream on Rumble as well. I need 5 subscribers. I can't really figure out the Rumble thing. I've got like 200 videos on there, but none of them show up on my fucking page, man. And I can't figure it out. But they get viewed somehow. So I don't even know. Like, but I never get any followers at all. And I've actually made some money on there, like $10 somehow. There was some kind of contest, and one of my videos won the contest, and I won $10. So, and I have no idea what's going on. But all I need is 5 followers, and I can live stream on there. So if you have a Rumble account and you can go over to rumble.com/Grady George and follow me, that would be great. I would appreciate that very much. Let me see if I can get that link for you. I'm sure I can. Oh shit. All right, there you go. And yeah, I'm trying to make the Discord more of a thing. Like, I don't know. I've got like some people the same people that's behind Wendy the Slow Adults Discord and Nana Pips, and there's a lot of Discords that the same team kind of operate. I think Todd Goldfinger got one. I don't know if they're involved with Elise's Discord or not. I kind of think they are a little bit to an extent. But it's up to me to get people to come to my Discord, and I hardly ever go there, and I just like totally forgot about it because I'm constantly trying to get my YouTube shit figured out, But I really want to become more involved in the Discord. The only thing I ever used Discord for was I used to be on that Drunken Peasants Discord, And the only reason I was on there is because that's where their chat was, And also I'm on my Twitter, which I don't have a link for it, but I am I'm like Grady_George on Twitter. And I'm actually streaming live on Twitter right now too, or I should be. I'll have to check that out later. And I want to add Rumble, and I'm thinking about Twitch. The only thing about Twitch is, well, I guess the reason I never considered Twitch was that Drizzle always yells out the N-word, and I just figured that at some point, Drizzle's going to yell out the N-word, and we just get banned from Twitch, So I didn't even bother, but that's not, for one of my shows, that's never going to happen, so. Unless somebody else does it. But in Drizzle's defense, he is a black guy. Like, a lot of people think he's a Puerto Rican or something, but he is a black guy. So, like, I'm not going to tell a black guy what they can and cannot say like that. You know what I mean? That's a whole, like, it's bad to be sitting there with somebody saying the N-word, but it's bad to tell, like, a black guy that he can't say that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a white guy, scolding him. Like, you either like white splain it or you're sitting there with the guy yelling the N-word. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't use X, Twitch, or Instagram or any of that stuff. Just YouTube, Discord, and Rumble. Yeah, I use Instagram. I do not like Facebook whatsoever. In fact, I had a very large Facebook account back when I was on Battlecam. And I forget how many I had. It was like 4,000 or 5,000 followers. I mean, it was very large for the time, you know what I mean? And honestly, like, it wasn't like nowadays where there's like a bunch of people, like bullshit people following you. Like, literally, like, I recognize every single one of those people as a fucking viewer. You know what I mean? At some point. I'm not saying they would all watch me at once, but I recognize all those people as viewers. You know what I mean? So I know there were people that watch me. So that, like, if I still had access to that Facebook account, I could send out a, you know, I'm sure a lot of people don't still have their accounts, but I'm sure a lot of people still do, you know? But I can't use that account because I got into a political argument with some lesbian on Facebook. And she reported to Facebook that I was using a fake name. Because I was using my Battlecam name, which was Denty. So Facebook contacted me and demanded that I send them my driver's license to prove to them who I am. And I told them it was a stage name, you know? And they were like, well, you can't use a stage name on Facebook. Now, there's tons of celebrities on Facebook that I know that's not their real name. And I mean, it's public fact. Their real name's known, and they're still going by their stage name, so. Anyway, Facebook then amended the policy, right? And they said that if you were a drag queen, you could use like a fake name, but only drag queens. And I'm like, what the fuck, you know? So I tried to log into that old account not too long ago, and they're still telling me to send them my driver's license, which my name's not Denty, so I can't ever get this thing unlocked, apparently. So then when I decided I was going to be Grady George as my name, before I ever started streaming, I went around and I tied up all the Grady George shit, you know. I'm pretty much everywhere, you know. Because I figured if I ever got any kind of traction, someone's going to go around and fucking, like, you know, because that's what they did with my old name. They're going to go around, like, you know, register as my name, and I can't use it, you know. And I got one on Facebook for Grady George, and like the next day they write me and they tell me that they need to see my driver's license, and I think they were like IP logging me or something, you know, because other people I know have never had to show Facebook their fucking driver's license, you know. So I'm never going to Facebook again. Like, Facebook is dead to me. So I don't even fucking give a fuck. I've never used Twitter before, so I just got a Twitter account. Well, I guess it's X now or whatever, but I just got it not too long ago just so I can throw my live streams on there. My thing is I want to multicast at as many places as I can. You know? I don't give a fuck. I don't believe that race matters when you're telling anyone anything. Like, what do you mean by that? Like, can you give me an example? Oh, I guess you are. Hold on. Black people to me are just human. They don't tell me what I can or cannot do, or the reverse. Well, it's not black people that tell you that, right? I mean, at least not. I've never had a black person ever tell me anything. It's always some white person telling me that. And they go that they're using their voice to speak for those that cannot speak for themselves. Which, to me, is one of the most racist things you can fucking say, you know? You're like literally claiming that somehow your voice is better than some black person's voice. You know what I mean? No, it's not. You're a fucking loser. I'm now on Facebook, but only because I'm reconnecting with family and friend. Well, my whole family's dead, so, you know. Like, I have a Facebook that has all my dead family members on it and shit, and some, like, people I used to work with and all this fucking shit, but I never log on to it. Oh. That's okay, Mitch. I mean, it happens to everybody at some point. Like, I'm pretty old, though. You know what I mean? I've had my family for a long time. So, you know, I just don't have my own family, so I think that's what makes it kind of harder. Race matters, just not in the ways people think. It is important in a medical diagnosis, and it informs how we integrate as groups. Visit Japan and then visit Kenya and tell me people are different. Yeah, well, do you blame the Africans themselves for their plight, Mitch? Because I don't. You know, now you could say that it's their own fault or something, you know. But I don't think so, man. I think I don't know, man. The thing about Africa is it's so resource rich, and it's like right in the middle of everything, right? So like global offices worldwide should be headquartered in Africa. Or I mean where you're shipping from, because like you're gonna get anywhere in the world the shortest amount of time, you know, from Africa, because it's like the most centralized location. So, and then when you throw in all the oil, the gold, like everything fucking there, it should be the wealthiest nation in the world, and people like blame the Africans for that not happening. But I mean, the British went in there like so long ago and like just started taking over, and I think all these other countries used them as a model. They went in there with these deals, and they're talking to, like, you know, really there's like warlords that go around, you know, that the warlords are making some money, but the warlords are getting like fucked over big time too, you know. I saw this documentary where, and this was just like last year, I think. I don't know. China bought some like gold mine or something. I don't know what they were mining something there in Africa, some resource. And that's the other thing. They take the African resources, and then they ship them to like their country. You know what I mean? So all the resources that should have went to the Africans are just fucking gone. You know. So anyway, yeah, they were paying these guys $1 per day. These African guys, and they were like dangling off ropes in this pit. I forget how far down it was, but it looked like a endless fucking pit. And there was like no safety precautions going on at all. It was like literally like some African guy had like a rope tied around his belt loop on his pants, like dangling off the fucking rope, you know. And they were like, you know, it was like tons of them like that, you know. They were getting paid $1 per day. So this like protester group went down there, like, and I think they had National Geographic with them, the television station, or the cable network, and they were filming it because they had film of this. So they pull up there, and the fucking African workers like literally come at them like they're going to fucking kill them. You know what I mean? These protesters, and they don't know what's going on. And they keep going, "We're here to help you," and they're like. And they're like attacking them and shit, you know. So they get in the car and they're like, you know, taking off, and you know, all these Africans were chasing them down the road. And it turned out like, Yeah, they had done some kind of expose on one of these things before, and they had the African workers like talking to them because they were like, "Yeah, we'd like to have some more money and a little bit more safety precautions." And when they did that, China just like shut the fucking thing down and took off because they were getting a lot of bad PR. So those people went from like making the $1 per day to nothing, which to me it's like, who gives a fuck, right? But apparently to them, $1 per day is everything, right? So when they finally got another job making $1 a day, when China come back, and now they will literally like try to kill anyone that comes down there to try to help them. Well, Pakistanis and Indians are ethnically identical. The Pakistanis don't assimilate because of the culture, religion. Ethnicity has nothing to do with it, in my opinion. Yeah, I get that. I know Pakistanis and Indians are ethnically identical. I mean, the only thing is, well, I mean, I know they're Pakistanis are Muslim, right? And the India's Hindu. Now, I was kind of surprised because I watched Sunny. Sunny's a streamer from Houston, and he went over to India and he was like streaming over there, and he was saying that most of the people he was meeting in India were Muslim, and the Indian people he was hanging out with were Muslim too. I didn't think they had that many Muslims in India. I thought it was kind of rare. But I guess not, you know? What about Americans and Mexicans? I mean, isn't that a Spanish colony? Weren't most of those people like Spaniards and Germans and stuff? Are they really that much? I mean, they speak a European language. They have European customs. You know, I know a lot of Mexicans. They're very similar in culture to the U.S. They're Catholic. They're very family oriented. They like to work. They like to work hard, play hard. You know, they spend all their money very quickly. You know, because they like to party. The Africans don't play victim like the African Americans. This radicalized view of slavery is an American phenomenon. Africa itself is just a bunch of tribes that hate each other, just like Europe. Well, yeah, I would agree with that, but let me read this again. Well, I will say that I've actually known fairly well some African people, two of them actually. You know, one of them from college and one of them I was working with, and both of them told me that they weren't like the N-words, you know, which was very shocking to me. And they would often call them N-words to me. The American black people. They wouldn't call African black people that. And I quickly found out that these dudes were like super racist against black Americans. And they would tell me stuff like, there's a reason why we sent them here and stuff like that, you know? And I started thinking like, are these guys like, do they just like think all white people are racist, you know, and they just come over here so when they meet white people, they have this like speech they're going to give, or are they actually racist like that against black people? But I always see like black Americans talking about how they want to go to Africa and like they're wearing the medallions and the red, black, and green and shit, you know. But honestly, I mean, the African people don't seem to like them very well, you know. Just from my experience. The only thing the West is guilty of is deciding slavery was wrong. Slavery was brought back to countries that were liberated by the West. Yeah, well, you know, the liberals of the day, there was a big argument about sending the slaves back to Africa, right? And I don't know, it's an interesting debate. I mean, if you say something like that nowadays, that's considered very bad. But at the time, there were Africans that wanted to be sent back, and there were some that wanted to stay, you know. And the government decided that they were just going to integrate these people into like their own communities, which is when they started, you know, doing segregation and all that. So like the liberals of the day, these were very wealthy people. And there's a Vice documentary about this. Vice goes to Liberia. You can look it up and watch it. And they basically paid for a bunch of freed slaves to go. They bought like enough land over in Africa. And it wasn't a country. They just like bought some land for them, and they went over there, and they just the freed slaves enslaved the local Africans, and basically it became a big slave colony called Liberia. And they believed they were like way better than the Africans, still do over there. You know, they consider themselves Africans now, but they still feel that they're better than the people that were there before they were. You know. And I mean, this place is a fucking shithole, dude. It's like the worst place on earth. But I just think it's fucking weird that it was a bunch of freed slaves went over and did that. However, what I think what's going on is I think white people were behind that, you know? I think the white people that paid for them to go over there were getting money from all this somehow, you know what I mean? They couldn't have slaves in America anymore, so they just sent their slaves over to Africa to enslave some new people. And then it's like, you know, they're kind of like out of it, but, you know, benefiting. I think that's what was going on myself. Because I don't trust liberal people at all, even back then. Having a resource and sitting on it is different than harnessing it. Saudi Arabia sat on oil but didn't attain wealth until some evil colonizer taught them to drill. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I agree with that. Yeah, I mean, I guess, well, isn't Saudi Arabia the birthplace of the Muslims, though? Like, isn't that, like, you got that, I mean, isn't that where Muhammad's from or whatever? And that's why you have to learn Arabic to read the Quran and all that? Everything people in the West whine about doing in the past has always been a thing and still is a thing in the rest of the world. This idea that the West is evil is a leftist game. Oh, yeah, I know, man. I mean, they've had slavery everywhere, and what I try to tell people is that slavery still exists today, and in fact, there's more slaves in the U.S. in 2023 than there was back in, you know, the 1800s. And the reason I know this is just from the people from the sex slaves and human trafficking outnumber the actual slaves from back in the day. That's just the ones we know about that are documented. So I mean, the slaves in the U.S., there's none of them are documented. There's no way you can prove it, but you can look at the times ICE has busted slavers in the U.S., and I'll tell you, a lot of them are like they'll own like a chain of Chinese buffets, and they'll like tell Chinese people to come over here to sneak out, and then once they get them over here, they basically tell them, you're going to work for free for the rest of your life, or we're going to send you back to China to get shot in the head for fucking leaving. So that's how it works. But yeah, every industry, they busted slave operations and everything from construction all the way down to like homemaids. I mean, it's pretty bad. And I love how these liberals run around, worried about shit that happened 200 years ago, when not only is it still going on today, it's fucking worse. You motherfucking morons. So you never cared about slaves, or you would not. Or you would have a problem with what's going on with the immigrants, man. Oh, yeah. They bring them in here, put them in cornfields, and then while they're working in the field, they'll crop dust them with fucking bug spray. There's no safety measures, They're not even getting paid minimum wage. And if they get injured or they get sick, they just drop them off at a medvac. Your fucking taxes pay for it. Big business doesn't. But no, you can't get enough of it. And I love these liberals that tell me, why are you worried about the immigrants? All they do is just like mow yards and clean. And I mean, that's like the most racist fucking shit I can imagine. But I guarantee you there's immigrants that can do your fucking job easily. And I'll tell you where a lot of people would be very surprised where this is going, where this is happening at in America is. Go to a hospital, emergency room. I mean, they're full of Pakistani people, immigrants, because Pakistan has a bunch of doctors with medical degrees. and they got their degree in Pakistan, and then they come over here and they'll work for like very cheap compared to the other doctors. It's all about price. They're getting paid more than your average immigrant, sure. But they'll come over here and work like that so they can open their own private practice. You know what I mean? I was going to say good morning, Mitch, but I guess it's afternoon. Oh, yeah, it's 2 p.m. there, huh? Yeah, good morning, Victor. Much higher percentage of native DNA in the average American. You'll notice a difference when you compare them with a Spaniard, yes? Well, that's what I don't know, because, like, I mean, Spanish people are darker. They have dark hair. I mean, I've never been to Spain. I've had people who went over to Spain. They'll go, well, they just look like white people like us, But then you have actors like Antonio Banderas and Penelope Cruz, who are all from Spain. Both are from Spain, and they often play Mexican characters. So I don't know. But then you also like 1/3 of Germany. I mean, 1/3 of the original population was German immigrants. That shitload of Germans. That's why they love polka music down there. They have Tejano music. It's basically polka music. And then you got the fact that, like here in Texas, where it used to be Mexico, before Texas was liberated, that was all full of colony people. That they had moved to Mexico for free taxes. They basically offered all these people like free taxes to come down there. So I mean, I guess that part's not part of Mexico anymore. Exactly, Grady. They hate the African Americans and they call them that. I've heard that many times. So you even hear it over in you even hear it over in Europe, or are you talking about online? No, I've had some black people tell me, because I mean, surprise, surprise, I've had many black friends, before. I know people say that kind of shit, but I have. And I've had a few black people tell me they don't like Africans, man, and the reason they don't like them is that when they've been around some Africans, they get treated like shit by them, and they kind of pick up, that, and then I would tell them my experience with Africans, and they would be like, they were not even fucking shocked, man. But then in the media, you got all these people going, oh, Africa, I think it's fucked up to call African Americans African American. They're a hyphenated group, okay? No, they're Americans, right? But now you've got these. So I would never use that term ever, and I don't even like using black. I cannot believe generation after generation, no one cancels the term black. I mean, to me, I don't know if you realize this, but black is not a color. It's not in the color spectrum. Black literally means the absence of color. It's literally nothingness. You know what I mean? So to call somebody black is like, like your heart's black, that's what that means. It's like nothing there, I think it's pretty fucked up, but on the other hand, they say, they call me white, and I'm not like white like a sheet of paper, It doesn't really bother me, but being called a cracker or a honky or any of that kind of shit doesn't bother me either. Now, there is a new hate speech thing for white people that I do not like, and kudos to whoever came up with it, but pig-skinned. Yeah, I've been called a pig-skinned recently, and I thought that was a little overboard. Kind of hurt my feelings a little bit. Mitch is right about the skewed American perspective on race and slavery. The Islamic slave trade didn't discriminate as to whose balls were cut off. No, when I read a book, and I can't even remember what the guy's name was, but basically he was like some guy from Europe, and he got enslaved by the Muslims. And he was like a rich guy, and they didn't give a fuck. And he somehow was able to, I don't know if one of the, what do you call those guys? You call them like thugs or something. They would like roam the deserts. They say that's like code for black people, but actually it's like Arabic people, right? The thugs that would travel in the desert and shit. And he got like captured by one, and they would like give all their water and shit to the fucking camels because they were like riding the camel. They wouldn't even give them water or anything. Man, it was like brutal. This book was fucking brutal, dude. If you ever want to hear, but anyway, this guy, he was actually wealthy and shit, but they didn't give a fuck, or he couldn't talk to him or something. And finally, one of them could talk to him, and he told him if they took him up to Europe, he knew for a fact, he could give him like $50,000 or something like that, which was like a shitload of money. And he didn't even know if he could get it or not, But he just told him that. So he finally got up there, and they saved him somehow, But they were gonna they enslaved that motherfucker too. They literally sold them to the West. They were traded. People don't know history. Well, they were actually they would kidnap people, right? Or were they all purchased from other African tribes? Because I've heard that what I've heard was like the Dutch would purchase them from African tribes, and then they would like kind of hire the Muslims to bring them up into Europe, because they had full control of that area between to get from sub-Saharan Africa up to Europe. So I feel like I don't know. I've heard it too. I've heard that the Muslims went down there and it was their idea to start the slave trade. But then I've heard that it was Europe's idea, but they had to involve the Muslims because they had that whole area in between locked down. They wouldn't let them pass. So I don't know. Sounds like you're describing Liberia. Yes, Vice's Guide to Liberia. If you haven't seen that, watch that. It's fucking great. It's an old documentary, but it's fucking awesome. No offense, Grady, but it sounds as if you're letting the white guilt narrative guide your thinking rather than objectively or objectivity. Do you mind letting me know exactly what you're talking? Like, what is it that is making you say that? You know what I mean? Because I don't really feel like I have white guilt, but at the same time, I don't know. It's just like we were talking yesterday about like blackface and stuff like that. I mean, I think some people in here were like, or the other day, whenever we were talking, you know, some people were saying that who gives a fuck? It doesn't matter, right? And I agree with that too. Like I said, I don't. That kind of shit doesn't bother me, you know. But I don't know. I to me, it's like I said, I wouldn't hang out with somebody that did blackface and shit like that. And I think some people might think that it's because that I think those people are really racist for doing blackface. I mean, honestly, I think there's been tons of people who have done blackface who are not racist, you know. In fact, I think Joy Behar did blackface. I don't believe Joy Behar is a racist. You know. Not that I like Joy Behar. And she is a cunt. But I don't think she's inherently racist. I mean, I don't think she did blackface to, like, you know, try to make fun of black people. I think she dressed up like a black person. Like a single black person she dressed up like. I forget who it was. And that's who she was going to the Halloween party as. But nowadays, you know, if you were to get in a blackface, you're like you're trying to mock every single black person, you know. And I think there's probably been people that are dressed up like that, meaning that. And there's a lot of people that have, but to me, it's like, even if you don't mean it like it's a racist thing, you're just trying to be funny, or you're trying to make fun of one black dude or by dressing up like him or whatever, you know. I feel like that's very poor decision making, you know what I mean? And that's why I would not want to hang out with the fucker. Because those type of people will bring hell to your fucking life, man. I know so many people that don't give a fuck. I used to not give a fuck, right? But I learned the hard way, you have to give a fuck. And I don't want to be around that fucking shit, dude. I really don't. And in fact, I'm not racist at all. I'm not homophobic at all. And people doing things that might make it seem as though I was. I don't want to be around that, man. You know what I mean? So, yeah, if I see somebody doing that, like, I don't want to be around that. You know what I mean? I tolerate it with Drizzle. Drizzle's constantly calling me the F slur, and he's also constantly calling me the N word. Drizzle is a gay black person. You know what I mean? I don't like it. It makes me very uncomfortable, but I kind of give him a pass for that. You know what I mean? Because if somebody ever says something about it, I'm going to say, you know, the dude's gay and black, man. What do you want me to do about it? Take it up with him, you know? You can't do that with some of these people. How did Islam spread? Ask yourself that question. Was Eastern Europe always Muslim? No. Was Iran? No. All right, I understand that. But what about the way Christianity was spread? I would even go as far as the Spanish that went into Mexico and took out most of the natives and shit, and they were tearing down all their shit and forcing them to live Christian lives and all that stuff. How is that any different from how the Muslims did it? So if colonizing is okay, if Saudi Arabia is the birthplace of Islam, it must mean the Italians are allowed to colonize since Rome is central hub of Catholicism. Or is it a double standard? No, but I thought he was saying that they colonized Arabia is why I said that. I thought he said that they colonized Saudi Arabia, and I thought that's where it came from, so. They use these virtues to their benefit, and they act like they care and own these oppressed groups, but it's all a ploy to further their agenda. They care nothing for them. I agree with that, yeah. I don't think the oppressed groups even buy it that much themselves, that's what I'm saying. I'm here in America. I've never had a black person or a gay person come up to me and give me any kind of shit about anything, dude. Ever. It's always other straight white people. Always. I had some, I was at a bar one night. This was when, right after Trump got elected, right? And this chick, she was a white straight chick. She's fucking screaming at, we got a homophobe in the White House, Donald Trump, and she wasn't gay. Her boyfriend was there and everything. They were just like two white liberal people, So I pulled up that that video of Trump waving the rainbow flag at a gay event. And I was like, that doesn't look very homophobic to me. And this bitch literally screamed and started clawing my face, dude. Literally attacking me. And then, a little posse started forming. I did it. I was a racist homophobe because I was saying Trump wasn't, I was like, am I in the fucking Twilight Zone? I took a dummy. I took a right when we went on. And it's starting to hit. The worst thing the U.S. can do for illegal immigrants is allow them entrance. We ask why things are so stagnant in the U.S., maybe because the average Joe hasn't gotten a raise because he can be undercut. Exactly, But to me, that's not even the way to look at it. Because if you're worried about your own pay or anything like that, they'll act like that you're only worried about yourself. The way to look at it, the way to explain it to them is how badly the immigrants are being treated. They're being exploited, they're being completely underpaid. Now the thing with me is this Dreamer Act, man. I am not for that at all. I don't understand why two people who are in the country illegally, if they have a baby here, the taxpayers are on the hook for this kid to pay for everything all the way through college, while I have to pay my own fucking college. Still. That makes no fucking sense. Give every American... I want the same rights the immigrants have, to be honest with you. That DREAM Act? I want that. And I would like to be repaid the $50,000 that I paid for my college back to the United States government for a $9,000 loan. I would like that $50,000 back. Yeah, I worked all through college, man. It wasn't $9,000 for me to go to college. I paid a lot of my college working my ass off all the way through college in the field that I ended up working in and getting my degree in. But I did have to take some loans, and I took $9,000 in loans. And at some point, I couldn't pay my, when I very first got out of college, I got a job, even though I had 4 years experience, it got me a job in a bigger city. And I went there, but I was starting off at the bottom. I didn't have enough money to pay my fucking student loan. I wasn't making enough, because I had an apartment and I had a car, and I had to have a car to go to work because that's where I lived was set up. There was no public transportation. There was no Uber. There was nothing like that. I had to have a fucking car. I had an apartment. And then, I had utilities and all that, and I had a telephone. And I couldn't pay my fucking student loan. And it went into default. And at that point, they just start adding these like fees and crap, the government does. So for a $9,000 loan, I ended up paying back over $50,000 to them. Now, I've had my student loans paid off for years, but the fact they have this Dreamer Act where 2 illegal people get in here and have a kid that I have to help pay for them to go to college. Like, to me, it's like, okay, when they turn 8, maybe we have to help pay till they turn 18. I don't even believe that. But to me, like, even if you came with that, I'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? But the idea they tack college on there where we're responsible all the way up through college? I don't even understand how the fuck that got passed. And I don't even understand, like, who the fuck supports that. And I have known some people that support it. And I've been friends with some of them, and they are dreamers, okay? And they're very cool people. And the ones I know were artists. And they were very talented, but they were the only people I knew that supported that stuff. And they happen to be dreamers themselves, But if the goal is to get cool, good Americans or whatever, both these people were, excellent examples of Americans, I think, very left, a little left, way more left than I think most of us are here on this show. But, good people. I have Spanish ancestry. They occupied Flanders. Emperor Charles V was born where I grew up, and he ruled the Roman Catholic Empire from Spain. Interesting. Passport upgradey. Getting out there and seeing the world is better than any experience which could be gained just sitting here in the U.S. Yeah, I wish, I wish I was like these live streamers who are just like gallivanting all over the world. Somehow Sonny's doing it. And I'm pretty sure Sonny is like worse off than me. There ain't no fucking way. Like, I don't even think Sonny owns a home or anything, man. But that might be part of it too. I'm kind of like hampered by my possessions, And I thought about selling my house, But to me, it's like I look at the amount of money they printed up and how bad inflation already is. But to me, it's extremely low compared to how many bills they have printed up, you know? So I mean, I'm kind of scared, man, that like milk's going to be like $30. It might even get to be like Japan. Well, you know how like 100 yen's like basically always around $1 or whatever, you know? $100 might be $1, man. I mean, I don't know. Like it's really fucking bad. Like they say, oh, it ain't gonna be that, but I'm being logical, and I'm not an expert, and I'm not even very smart, man. But I'm reading about it, and I'm going, dude, what in the fuck? Like everything's gonna cut. Like, dude, I'm sorry, man. I mean, we're fucked. We are fucked, man. And I have no answers for it. But yeah, I don't want to sell my house right now because I feel like, you know, I'm going to sell my house and in like 5 years that it's going to be the equivalent of like, you know, living for a month or something, you know. And also I feel like I'm entering a period where people aren't going to be able to afford a house. Dude, some of the fucking houses around here are going for like $1 million fucking dollars, man. Who the fuck can afford that, dude? I saw some video today about people complaining about how the costs are going up, and this guy was like, "Man, I gotta pay. I remember just like a year ago, I only had to pay $3,000 a month for rent. Now it's $5,000 a month." I'm like, this dude was paying $3,000 a month a year ago, or what kind of place is this, man? I must be like extremely poor or something. I don't know. But yeah, I did live in Chicago for like 6 months, and even back then, it was back in the 90s. And I think our rent was like 1,800 a month or something like that. There was like 4 of us living in there, and it was a 2-bedroom apartment that had bunk beds in each room. It was a nice place. It was on Clark Street. It was a swank ass place, but I mean, back then, like that much money, I couldn't fucking believe it. But I bet that place is going for like $4,000 or something a month now. But yeah, I do want to go travel around. In fact, I was going to go to Japan. I was watching. I don't watch Ice Poseidon since he left Japan, but when he was in Japan, I was watching like every day, constantly. And I loved Japan. I loved what I saw there. I love how they are. And I don't know. I wanted to go there, and I saw how cheap everything was. I mean, I don't know what's going on. I mean, like here, everything's so expensive now. Over in Japan, everything's fucking cheap as shit, dude. I couldn't fucking believe it. I mean, the shit was like half the price of what it is in America. And then they have those places where you can just pay like what, $20 a night at the internet cafe, and you can just like sleep there. I was like, I'm gonna go to fucking Japan, but I never, dude, nothing but bad shit's been happening to me. Like a tree fell through my house and all kinds of shit, dude. I mean, it just never fucking stops, man. That's why I'm going to this. That's why I'm going to try to get up with the Santa Muerte guy. Hasn't fucking called me back yet. So I have a feeling he's not going to, because I feel like he would have already called by now if he was going to. But yeah, I want to get out there, and I want to go more overseas. Now, you know, that's weird because like I said, I had a girlfriend that she wanted me to move to Belgium with her, you know. So I could have easily moved to Belgium. That could have been my fate, you know what I mean? I could probably be in Europe right now, probably, if I wanted to. I mean, pretty much the only reason we broke up is because I wouldn't move to Europe, you know. I thought the point of America was we're all Americans. I don't like that hype and stuff either. No, I think it's bullshit, but I kind of see what they're trying to do now. Because now they've worked it in for all the white people, right? So you got, they'll say that you're, you know, French American or German American, Italian American. And I started noticing people identifying themselves like that, you know? And now I'm starting to see it asked for in like forums and stuff. And I don't think like I'm a Caucasian anymore. I think only Hispanics are Caucasian. They've got a new thing. It says they got Caucasian or non-Hispanic Caucasian. And the thing of it is, I think that I could check either one. You know what I mean? I don't think there is any wrong answer. But I find it interesting that they list the normal white people as non-Hispanic Caucasians, and then the Caucasian is Hispanic. I believe that this is because the Hispanics have always been Caucasian, and they didn't even realize it, and they're starting to ask, why does my birth certificate say I'm white? So now they've come out with this non-Hispanic Caucasian. They're going, oh, that's because you're a Caucasian, but then there's these non-Hispanic Caucasians, you know. No, they're white people, dude. And I really don't think that they're any more like native than we are here, really. I really don't. Maybe they are. I mean, I feel like more so South America is, you know what I mean? But the Mexicans, like, I hardly can even tell ever that someone's a Mexican, man, here. And I literally live where it used to be Mexico, and like there's tons of Mexicans here, you know. And yeah, a lot of people, they might cringe for me saying Mexican, but being in Texas and knowing Mexicans, that's what they want to be called. If I use Hispanic, they will rip my head off because they don't feel like they're like the other people. They're Mexicans, you know. So that's kind of a racial type of deal going on right there inside their own group, you know. And I'm just telling you how it is. I'm not telling you what I think. I mean, I'm just telling you how it is, man. Because I've had people go, oh, you shouldn't say because outside of where I'm at, that's why I'm just saying Mexican all the time. By the way, I'm married to a Mexican and all that, you know what I mean? So don't give me no fucking shit. I'm an honorary Inland Empire. The Cholas of South Central LA loved me back when I was on Battle Cam. And they really did. I had like, because I was on the TV and I'd be telling them about how like all the Cholas belong to me. You know, all this shit. I want them to get my name tattooed on their ass and all this fucking shit. And a bunch of Cholas started calling in and they were like obsessed with me. Those marker eyebrow chicks. And they gave me honorary Inland Empire status. And Billy the Fridge has that too, by the way. You're overanalyzing and being pedantic by finding the word black offensive. How does one say black in Spanish? Negro. Well, yeah, that's, to me, it's like, I don't find it offensive, you know? What I was trying to say is that if you think these other terms are offensive, I don't know how you couldn't find black offensive. And to me, it's like in the future. Let me give you a story, okay? This is an American story here, right? So, and I can't even say this on YouTube, really, now that I'm thinking of it, but it's a person of color, but the other way around, right? You know, you can say it one way around, but you can't say, like, you can say person of color or abbreviation POC, which I do not like because there is a long time abbreviation POS, and I've always felt like since they came out with that POC, like I even feel like the powers that be are somehow trying to fuck with people like that. You know what I mean? But whatever. If you say it the other way around, you can't say that here, right? Or at least I can't on YouTube right now. And most of the time, if you were to say that in public, people would be very upset. So that's what my grandfather would refer to black people as, right? And really, my great aunts, all of them, you know, they would call them the other way around, people of color. So one day, I'm driving with my grandfather, and he's telling me, he goes, this, you know, other way around, did something, you know, asked him something or something. I don't know. I forget what it was, but he referenced that, you know what I mean? And I was just like, I just fucking cringed, man. And I said, Grandpa, man, why do you keep saying that, dude? You shouldn't say that, man. You know, black people are normal. You know, he was like, what are you talking about? You know? And I was like, well, that's pretty racist, man. You know, to be saying that, it just doesn't sound right. And dude, my grandpa was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Racist, you know? And to me, I'm just like, dude, you know, it's obviously racist to call somebody that, you know, because I'm a little kid and this is all I've ever known, you know? So we get back to his house. He goes upstairs to his bedroom. He starts fucking digging through his closet, man. And he comes down with this plaque from the NAACP awarded to him for like hiring the most black people in the city that year. And he was going, what does this say? What does this say? You know? And I was going, I read what it said. I can't see it on YouTube, I don't think. What NAACP stands for. He was like, I'm not racist. That's what you're supposed to call. Racist people don't say that. They say N-word, you know? And to me, I'm just like, I'm like, I don't know how old I was. I was like maybe 11 or 12, you know, and my mind was just like, I don't know what's going on, man. Like, I don't know. But anyway, now I realize what's going on. It's like, they say this is the polite way to refer to this group, right? So they get everybody saying that. And then the next generation come out. And they start acting like the previous generation is super racist because they say this word that now they're not supposed to say anymore. They got some new word. And it just keeps going on and on and on like that. You know what I mean? For instance, you can say people of color now, but you still can't say the other way around. And to me, it's like people, like, I want people just to be seen as human fucking beings, all right? We got some very lovely, beautiful human beings out there, and we got some very nasty, ugly motherfuckers out there. And there is no race, nationality, gender, or anything like that that binds it. The only thing that binds it is its beauty and its ugliness. Yeah, I think this gummy's kicking in, bro. And thank you for pressing me. You guys can press me if you want to. I don't care. I don't want like an echo chamber, man. Not that you guys are pressing me, but you know what I mean. Kind of like, you know, you're just not. Yeah, it's not an echo chamber. That's what I want. I even hate that band Echo Chamber. You know, that's how bad I fucking hate echo chambers. Islam separates the world into two camps. The Dar al-Islam and the Dar al-Harab. The house of submission and the house of war. If you don't submit, you get the sword. Sword. I grew up listening to Ghetto Boys, so I always say sword. I live by the sword. So I just said sword. but it's sword, right? Well, I do think that I used to, like I brought this chick up, and this is a girl that was on Battle Cam back in the day. That's how I knew her. She was a Muslim. She was a young Muslim girl. Probably in her early to mid 20s, and she was living in Amsterdam, and she was pretty wild too. I mean, she was not a prude at all, and she wanted to be in a harem. She wanted to move back to Saudi Arabia and be in a harem, and I would always talk to her. I mean, for like hours sometimes about Islam and stuff, and she like a lot of the stuff that I would bring up, which is like a lot of the stuff like you're saying here, she would just deny that it was true. That and according to her, there's just like different sects and different beliefs. Kind of like if you say you're like a Christian, that doesn't mean that you believe like Eric Rudolph. Like I mean, look, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm a Christian, right? Because I grew up in a Christian family. I don't go to church, at all. I don't. I kind of am more into Buddhism, but Christianity, I think, especially the New Testament, is influenced by Buddhism very clearly, because they even literally have some of the same exact tenets that were not in the Old Testament. You know what I mean? So, in fact, in Buddhism, they have this story where Jesus traveled to Tibet, I think, or somewhere, because he was they say he was a theologist, so he was studying religions, and he liked Buddhism, but that's what the Buddhists say. The Christians don't say that, And really, they consider it in the Muslim religion. They consider Jesus a prophet. They're not like they just don't think he's the Messiah. But the Christians are the ones that are like, no, only Jesus. Like they're the ones that seem to be the most unable to work with. You know what I mean? And that's the group I'm in. You know what I mean? So to me, I'm just like, whatever. I'm sure there's Muslims that do not believe in really bad stuff. I think it's just like the Christians, man. Like I would never go kill an abortion doctor because he was like legally performing abortions. I would never go kill anybody, to be honest. I would let the cops, I would call the cops if they did something to me that I would want to kill them for. But I'm not. I mean, I might attack. I might fight somebody. You might piss me off, and I might attack you or something. But I don't ever want to kill anybody. You know what I mean? Like I would never premeditatedly kill somebody. It's not in my character. When you were blaming Liberia and problems in Africa on white people, that's white guilt. Assuming Africans can't be just as shitty as the rest of us. No, but I also know the nature of these liberals, even of that day, you know what I mean? That was my point in saying that. I wasn't trying to like say I had white guilt. I really think that's a weird, like, imagine if that was going on right now, okay? So you have these slaves that were brought here, and they've been liberated. They're no longer slaves. And they're not citizens of the country. They were brought here as slaves. What do you do with them, They're not educated. They've never been in the system. They don't know how anything works, Do you send them back? Because maybe they still have family there, But most of them had already been here for generations. They didn't know even where they came from, you know what I mean? So yeah, like probably what happened was probably the best thing that you could do, you know what I mean? Because what would you do? Just like put them all on a boat? Because that's what the liberals of the day wanted to do. That's what I'm saying. The liberals of the day literally wanted to put all the Africans on the boat. And my source is the Vice magazine documentary. Vice goes to Africa, which is a very liberal publication, so you can go check it out for yourself. You don't have to believe Grady George, okay? That's literally what the liberals of the fucking day wanted to fucking do. So what are they going to do? Just, like, what would they fucking, and they're just going to send them to a jungle and drop them off, you know what I mean? And they're not used to living like that, Like what? That would be a horrible idea, I think. So probably what they did was probably the best thing you could possibly do. You know what I mean? It's a really fucked up situation. But I just feel like those people that wanted to ship them there had a reason to want to do that. I don't even think like they were, oh, we've got to send them back. Like that's what I'm saying. It's all fake, dude. You know what I mean? And probably they got them there and they told them, hey, man, let's operate here because they ain't got no laws here, man. We could do what we were doing over there, just like we used to, And I think, only now you own them, and we'll just, you just kick me some money back every once in a while, and I'll set this up for you. Because this is all white people bought the whole land and everything and gave it to them, you know what I mean? They didn't buy it for themselves. It wasn't their plan to go to that area. Imitation is the highest form of flattery until you do blackface. Then it's a hate crime. Spare me. It was the film White Chicks offensive. Should be one standard for. Actually, I felt like I was kind of offended by white chicks, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? And I feel like I shouldn't even be offended, I feel like who should be offended is the white chicks. And like every white chick I know, in fact, every chick I know, like you don't even have to be a white chick. They love that movie White Chicks, you know what I mean? So what do I know? But, first of all, Marlon Wayans and the other guy, man, they are some ugly motherfuckers, man. As women, you know what I mean? They were some ugly ass, and they made white women look like ugly, dumb as fuck. But the white women love it, you know what I mean? And I feel like it's because as much as they try to act like if you use the word bitch, you're calling everybody a bitch and all this, ain't nobody hate women more than women. You know what I mean? They're always fighting. Like, dude, if I'm around 4 chicks, man, and it's me and 4 chicks, one of them leaves, guess what the topic is? That chick that fucking left. And everybody talking mad shit, dude, If you really think about it, it's always like that, dude. So, yeah, I don't know, man. That's a whole nother fucking topic that I probably shouldn't even get into. And I think women are cool, and women can do whatever they want to do. I've recently come around on the pod uterus. I'm all for it now. I played Black Pete for Christmas here in Belgium. I'm proud of that. It's not racist, but Americans think it is blackface because they don't understand the world is not the U.S. But it is blackface, right? What's the difference? I'm not saying that you did anything racist. I'm familiar with that a little bit, more so than most Americans, but I don't think you're racist, at all. But over in Europe, do you have a lot, or what kind of, I know they had slavery back in Europe, but who were you guys enslaving? Was it black people? Do you have like freed black slaves over in Europe that have been there from the time that they were enslaved, like we do here? Or do you just have, I know there's a lot of black people in Europe, but a lot of them tend to be Africans, the ones that I'm aware of, you know what I mean? Like from Africa. that immigrated. Because I think it's different. Because like we were talking about how the Africans feel about, dude. I'm telling you, man, Black Americans, like, it's really fucked up. It's a fucked up situation. But I also feel like they aren't Rachel Maddow. You know, they aren't a lot of the stuff that gets pinned on them by white people talking trash, dude, to other white people. You know what I mean? Invoking them. You know what I mean? Sure, I've had some black people, you know, do some shitty things to me. I've had some white people. I've had everybody. You know, in fact, whatever race you are is the race you need to worry about stealing from you, raping you, killing you, because that's how it goes. Okay? The closer somebody is to you, the more likely it is that they're going to commit a crime against you here in the United States. It starts off with your fucking family. They're the most likely to steal from you. They're the most likely to rape you. They're the most likely to kill you. Then it goes to what race you are. So, I don't know. The children loved it, regardless of what race those kids were. But yeah, but also, I mean, was it a bunch of white people, though? I mean, you're saying regardless of what race they were, but were they African people? You know what I mean? Now, you know, I had to take a class on minstrel shows, and actually it was my English class, you know, because in college, because for some reason, I don't know if they're still doing this, because it might be gay stuff now, but like my English class that I was required to take in college, the whole thing was I had to read all these like books and essays and stuff about how bad white people were, you know, from all these different race and ethnicity and nationalities viewpoint. And I would have to write papers about how bad the white people are and stuff like that. So, where was I going with that, man? See, I got my piece of paper here to take notes, and I fucking didn't do it. And that fucking gummy is kicking in. I'll come back to that. Hopefully I get that thought back here. The point is, you gave Islam a pass for colonizing, but then flip it to what about Christianity? Need to apply your standards evenly. No, I didn't give Islam a pass from colonizing. I really didn't. What I meant by that was they didn't colonize, or did they? Are you trying to say they colonized Saudi Arabia? Because that's where it started, but also you could be saying that they took over, because I think most of them were Middle Eastern Christians, right? And they kind of turned into Muslims. Are you saying they were like turned that way by force, so even they were colonized? Because to me, it's like it started there, so I don't really consider that a colonization, you know? No, I don't give them a pass for doing that. I was just saying that I feel like Christianity has done the same thing, is what I'm saying. So yeah, I think both probably are bad, but it also is like, you know, I wouldn't be here probably today at all, or any of us would, if these things in the past hadn't have happened. You know what I mean? And I like where I'm at, and I'm not complaining. Well, actually, I am complaining every day at 6 to 9 a.m. right here on Grady.com, GradyGeorge.com. Oh, I see what you're saying. They took out the pagans. They took out Jewish. Now Christians, you could say, took out pagans here. Probably Europe too, right? I don't really know the history as well of Europe as well. Think about Christianity. There's so much obvious pagan influence. And it's not really the actual religion. It's all like the church kind of stuff. Like when we celebrate Christmas and like when we celebrate Easter. A lot of pagan type of stuff. In fact, the cross, the Celtics had a cross. Celtic cross, look it up. That predates, Jesus. So there was already a religious symbol. Ask yourself why there are no churches or synagogues in Saudi Arabia. Seems odd, as Jerusalem could be considered the center of Christianity. Are there none in Saudi Arabia? I guess not, man. I mean, I don't know. I kind of figured. I mean, I always hear that there's like these Christian groups. Like I heard there was a bunch of Christians in Syria, and they were getting like slaughtered just because they were Christians. I mean, I think the oldest Christian groups in the world are in that area, the Middle Can you guys hear me? How long has my mic been off? And why did my mic go off? 9 minutes? Oh my fucking god, dude. That was some of my best shit too, man. Did I tap it off? I'm gonna have to go look, but I don't feel like I did. God damn it. People don't like the idea of rural living because it is work to get up before. I noticed like actually like whether I had audio or not, it didn't matter. I still had no like there was like no change in viewers because I have like hardly any viewers, so that's all right. But that would have alerted me, but I didn't even know. Like, thanks for hanging out for like 9 minutes. Like, people don't like the idea of rural living because it is work to get up at 4 a.m. and milk cows. It is work to weed the garden and dig potatoes. They just want access to the market and have access. Yeah. But I do think it would suck if that's all we did all day, right? Yeah, I'm telling you, dude, that was like the best part. See, I think what I'm going to do now is because I'm like way behind in the chat because I'm trying to go to every comment. I don't know if you guys like that or not because for one thing, you guys are like way ahead of me, but for the other thing, I am acknowledging every comment, you know. So you let me know what you want me to do, but I think now I'm gonna read this chat in real time while I'm talking about this and back. You see what I'm saying? I think I just figured something good came out of this. This is never going to happen again. I'm going to do a Night Freaks tonight, by the way. That's my new plan. I want to do this whole entire week 5 morning shows and 5 late night shows. And I have a weird sleeping schedule planned, but I think I can pull it off. I lived in Colorado and Texas. You can tell many Mexicans at a glance, and it isn't racist to admit it. Man, I don't know, Victor. I mean, are you sure they're Mexican that you're talking about? Or are you just talking about like a Hispanic person in general? I mean, I guess you're talking about Mexicans, but I disagree that you can tell at first glance many. There are some, yes. But there are some like what's that guy? Oh, there's many like what's that guy? I don't even know his name. The dude from Florida. You know, they say he's a white guy, but he's actually a Mexican guy. And then they came up with this term that he's a white Mexican or whatever. So now they got this like whole term called a white Mexican, you know? So if you're a Mexican that looks like a white person, like you are not supposed to get a pass, right? That's the type of Mexican I see like in Texas, man. They don't really look like what the stereotypical idea of a Hispanic person is supposed to look like. And also, sir, I am married to one, and the only family I have is entirely Mexican people, and there's quite a lot of them They even have family members who I'm pretty sure they're not actually even related to. I can't really tell like who's actual family or not, but I know a lot of Mexicans, man. And I'm telling you, if they were back in Indiana and they didn't have a Hispanic last name, no one would even question it. You can't say colored person allegedly. Oh, dude. Why did I read that, man? Person of color. Sorry about that. I mean, not really, but I'm just saying that, like, I don't want to get banned. I wish my fucking mic was back off. Now I'm all, whoa. The gummy has struck midnight. Grady is jolted by having been tricked into saying hate speech. But it is like literally like the same as people of color, or was people of color what I wasn't supposed to say, man? I don't even fucking know anymore. That's why I just want to refer to people as human beings. I feel like we're all humans. But there's people out here demanding that we like recognize them and praise their whatever race or gender they are. So to me, that's racist and sexist from where my brain goes, you know. But whatever. Think about it, Grady. They keep changing what the acceptable wording is. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like anything you call anybody, you know, there's like an interview with Morgan Freeman, which I mean, I don't really know how I feel about Morgan Freeman, you know. I mean, I don't know, like. He's always like part of some like really wild liberal stuff, you know, like really out there stuff. And I think he was on the Electric Company when I was a kid, which I used to watch that all the time. He's somebody that's been in my life, you know, in the entertainment world. You know, I've always seen Morgan Freeman from as long as I can remember, and I feel like at some points I didn't really agree totally with him. But he says something like he doesn't want a black, you know, Black History Month or any of that. You know, he's offended by that, you know. That we should just be like, you know, like he wants you to stop thinking of him as a black person, you know. And I think it was like a 60-minute interview. He was like, I'm just a human being, man. You know? And to me, it's like you got to stop doing all this stuff where you're like trying to like, I don't know. To me, like the Democrats, they want, you have to do these censuses and all this shit. And everything gets divided up based on your race and your gender and stuff like that. Well, to me, it's like, what is wrong with us each? They're always like, make sure you fill out the census form to make sure you get your appropriate piece of the pie, you know? Well, who's getting the biggest piece of that pie under that fucking system? The majority of the population. Who is that? White people, you know? If I'm a black person, I'm not, to me it's like I'm wondering to myself why I gotta settle for 13% of the fucking pie. Just because I'm part of this group, you know? What is wrong with each person, no matter what color you are, race you are, you know, I mean, or gender? We all get the exact same rights, man. What is fucking wrong with that? And that is the conservative ideology. That is why I consider myself a conservative. You know? I don't give a fuck what you do. You shouldn't give a fuck what I'm doing. As long as I ain't bothering you, you know? Or causing you, I mean, not bothering you, but if I'm like actually causing you some kind of harm, doing like I can't just go kill you or something like that. You know, there are limits. But I think back in the day, people understood that. You know, nowadays everybody wants to like try to tell you what to do. I'm sick of it, man. I'm an individual. I think like I think. I say what I want to say. And the fact of the matter is, whether somebody was telling me not to say it or not, I would not be using hate speech. I would not be making fun of gay people. I did used to use gay slurs, like I would call my friends, you know, like, you know, FAG. And, or we would say, that's gay. And I had a gay friend, and I would be like, and I would say it to him. Just like I was saying, I would call my other friends gay, and he would like do a little gay dance and stuff. He didn't give a fuck. He was cool, you know. But like I wouldn't do that now because I know people would be offended by that, and it is kind of like I don't even understand like why we were doing that. But I really don't think like I never used it as being a homophobic, and like I said, I had gay friends I called that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? They had no problem with it back then. You know what I mean? Not like really horrible stuff, but just to call somebody gay, like, you know, big deal. Yeah, like I remember one time I was like all drunk, my friend come up and he was like drunk, started rubbing my back, and I was like, dude, that's gay. You know. Was that from a hateful place? They do this to keep you perpetually on your toes, always walking on eggshells and tense. It's a liberal thing. Now, saying retarded is somehow offensive. Well, I have been using that, and so far I haven't had any problems, you know. And I have my personal opinion on this is that if you're actually mentally handicapped, there's no way you could be offended by that. And it's actually a medical term that the doctors have actually called their kid when they told them their kid had this condition. And it's mainly their family, you know. They are being offended on behalf of this family member who cannot, you know. But I'm watching, like, for some reason, like, the way Instagram works is like I hovered a little too long over the top of a Down syndrome kid cooking on a grill who had like millions of views and likes. And now I get every Down syndrome kid grilling video, and I mean there are tons. And I'm pretty sure, like, you know, there's varying degrees of Down syndrome kids, right? But you know, I'm pretty sure like the ones that are doing these cooking videos don't even fucking know where the fuck they're at, dude. And you can literally almost see like they have a spoon in their hand. You can almost see like somebody off cameras like moving their fucking elbow. And I'm like, this is sick, man. These people are like using their handicapped kids for fucking views. And there's like a fucking grill, and they're like fucking putting like raw bacon and like rubbing their fucking nose. And I mean, I think something needs to be done about that shit. But everybody acts like it's so heartwarming. That's what I'm saying. Like the new freak. This is social media. The new freak show is you go and you act like you're the freak's friend and you like him, right? That's why you have all these really popular TikTokers with Tourette's and shit. Look, man, you know why you're following them, and it's not because you think they're cool or whatever. You're just waiting for them to yell out the N-word or something. All right. I mean, stop patting yourself on the back, dude. You like these Zoomers, these millennials, they like a good freak show, just like the old days. But they do it a different way now. Okay? But and you're trying to act like you're morally superior. You ain't. Leave these Down syndrome people alone. Leave these poor Down syndrome kids alone, man. They don't want to do your grilling Instagram videos. Now there are some that I do believe know what's going on, and they're great. But I'm saying there's all these copycats, and they got some people out there that I'm pretty sure are possibly in danger around these flame grills, man. And it's all because I watched one of them. Now Instagram's got to show me every one. Hi, Grady. Hope you are having a good start of your day. Hey, Granny14, thank you for coming by. You go way back on the Drizzle Live, I believe, if you're the same Granny14. When you're friends with someone, you give each other shit. That's a healthy relationship. In the 90s, we all joked around about race. It was just funny. Now things are scary and violent. Yeah, it is kind of fucked up, man. And I do believe people, like, I believe people are like, you know, I read about how the Muslims got radicalized against Russia. And it was financed by the U.S. And they basically went in and they just radicalized the kids through education. And I almost feel like, you know, this like, maybe not even this current generation, but probably the one after this is probably going to be like super radical, just based on the progression of things. You know what I mean? I hope not. I mean, the pendulum swings, but I feel like there's somebody got their boot on the pendulum. You know what I mean? Because this shit's been swinging this way too long. Yes, Victor, the left changes the rules constantly. Imagine trying to play a board game with someone who is just constantly changing the rules. Why even play? You can't win playing the leftist game, so just ignore them and their fake morality. Well, the fact of the matter is that, yeah, like I was saying, I wouldn't use any of that kind of terms. I mean, I might put things a little bit differently, and just to try to be funny, you know, like in a funny way. But I feel like I would just get banned on YouTube, you know. I mean, I'm kind of scared, already scared I'm going to get banned. You know what I mean? So it's like, if I'm going to do a YouTube channel, I do have to play by their rules, right? And then you got to ask yourself, why am I on YouTube? Well, that's where all y'all are watching shit, man, for the most part. So I have, and really, the other platforms are no better, really. I agree, Mitch. People are being programmed to hate each other over things they can't change, like race and sex. Yeah, it's crazy, man. I don't know. I've never really felt like I was raised by women, okay? I've talked about this before. So I've never really viewed women as really any different from me, because that's how I was raised, you know? And I will tell you something else. I would never, ever hold a door open for a woman or call her honey or anything like that, because that's how my mother raised me. My mother hated men that would, you know, call her, hey, sugar, you know, blah, 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 you know, or like hit on her and stuff like that. So she specifically raised me like that. So now all these chicks think that I hate women, right? Because I don't hold the door open for them, you know. I would never ever call you fucking honey or sugar or like tell you you look nice today or any of that kind of shit. Because I was raised by a woman to do that and to view women as equal to me. So that's how I view women. I mean, I understand the differences and I understand the roles. Okay, but there's a lot of the man roles that I don't really want to do either. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to go around being your personal mechanic and, you know, all that shit. I don't want to be the guy that's going to fix all your stuff in your house and shit. You know what I mean? And in fact, I don't even know how to do all that shit. You know, I know how to do some very basic shit. I don't know how to do shit like, you know, my dad and grandfather did, but they also didn't show me that shit. Nobody did. It was like there was no reason to, you know? So yeah, I feel like women think that, especially here in the South, you know, like okay, I'll give you a good example, right? Here in the South, when there's a woman president, you don't cuss, man, okay? But if you take that woman out of the group, these dudes are saying motherfucker, fuck this, fuck that, you know, you get this motherfucker, fuck that bitch. Chick walks up, supposed to be equal to them. They all shut, you know. Now up north where I'm from, chick walk up, everybody keep cussing, man. That chick will be cussing too, you know. That's just how it is. Down here in the South, you're supposed to respect women, and there's some fucking dudes that will take you to fucking task, you know. So I've a couple times had some dudes, you know, they've approached me about, you know, cussing in front of women and shit. But I was literally raised that way by my mother, because my mother would tell me about, because my mother was in management, and she would tell me that these managers would be like talking, she could hear them, and when she'd walk in, they'd like completely start acting different, you know, they'd be holding the door open for her, and, you know, they would treat her like totally different from everybody else. She craved just to be treated like everyone else. That's how I treat women, man, okay? Don't blame me, blame women. They're the ones that created me. Both I came out of a woman, and then they also made me the way I am. Muhammad took over Mecca, or was it Medina, by posing as peaceful, lying about the true nature of Islam. Muslims today follow examples. I think I'm really far behind, so I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit here. Let me go, you know. I'm like I don't think I can do this where I'm like talking, I'm answering every question, but that's a good sign, right? I mean, that's growth, right? Because I used to could easily, and I had to come up with some other shit. So yeah, I'm getting past to where I was no audio. I'll have to I'll have to figure out. I mean, I'm probably going to have to go cut that out, because if anybody were to watch this later, when they got to that point, they'd probably just leave, you know. But I'm probably going to have to figure out, and I'll try to remember, like, I'll try to lip read and figure out what I'm pretty sure my mic just fucking went off by itself, because it did that one other time. I literally stumbled on Night Freak stream on Saturday night because I was randomly scrolling. I thought, 3 viewers, why not check it out? Thank you. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, like I don't think, like I look at the stats and it's like it's like 100% of the people that watch me don't subscribe or something like that, which is kind of cool. I mean, I guess, you know. those people are okay. I don't know. Kind of getting tired. I'm not even tired, but I'm kind of spaced out from that gummy. I got about. I wanted to do 3 hours, so I got about 17 minutes left to fill, and I can easily do that with the comments we got here. I consider myself quite liberal in the classical sense and socially conservative. Oh, really? I'm a little bit more socially liberal, but well, I mean, I probably live my life socially conservative, to be honest with you. But I don't have an issue with other people's way they live. I guess I don't know. So my ideology is, I guess I would include pretty much everybody that wants to do whatever they want to do as long as it's legal, you know. Kind of like how you're saying, you know, about we're like the human race, not these tags they put on us, really. I love some of the Down syndrome memes. I have one with a guy drumming and it's caption System of Downs. Man, there's this documentary called Don't Fuck with Cats. And it's about this serial killer guy from Canada. And this chick from America becomes obsessed with him because she has seen a video of him vacuum sealing cats on YouTube and making them suffocate. So she figured out who he was, and her screen name was Body Movin', which was a old Beastie Boys song. And they kept calling her Body Movin' through the whole thing. And I swear this lady had Down syndrome, man. Look that up. Look up the trailer for Don't Fuck with Cats. Tell me that chick ain't got Down syndrome, man, but she's very intelligent. I mean, she cracked this whole fucking case, you know. So she's very high functioning, and then, like, at first when she was talking about how she got involved with it, I just assumed she just, like, lived in her bedroom all day, but she had, like, some, like, really nice job, you know. She ended up having to quit it because some online people started fucking with her or something. I don't know. Anyway, I don't give a fuck. Just look that lady up. Tell me if Body Movin' has Down syndrome or not. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. What I'm saying is, like, if she does, they should promote that more. You know what I mean? Because she actually, like, cracked that case wide open. You used to have to leave the house to see a freak show or piss someone off. Now you can do it from your couch. Exactly, man. But they do it in a way where they're like, they pretend to be their friends. You know what I mean? Or they pretend that they have an interest in their lives and they like what they like. And they're doing it because, you know, they're being nice, you know. But I guarantee you, them and their friends are making fun of this Tourette's girl they're watching, you know. I guarantee it. I mean, look, man. People are fucking shitty. And they always have been. And they're always trying to act like they're above that. You know? We are fucking animals, dude. We are scum. To be honest. All of us, really. As a whole. And it's probably because of these gummies. By the way, my gummies are legal in my state. And I can get you, I've got they actually were sponsoring my show, but I feel like if I promote it, I would get banned or something. So I don't know. I got to figure it out. Well, this recently went to the Supreme Court and social media won, but I don't see how you can get protection as a like a public square or whatever, to where you can't hold the company responsible for the content on here because they don't edit it. It's like controlled by the public. They're just offering it. So, I can't figure out for the life of me how you can get all that legal protection from being sued for anything that's on YouTube and still be able to also make editorial decisions for YouTube. To me, that doesn't make any fucking sense. Because what has happened is, like, YouTube's kind of like a bootleg site, kind of, right? I mean, a lot of people have like just put other people's copyrighted material on here, and YouTube could never be held accountable for it being on here, and that's really how YouTube got so big, And all those artists, instead of them getting the money for their stuff, Google got the money, So yeah, I don't know how you can get this protection as like what do they call that, a public square, or whatever, or a public utility. But also you get to make editorial decisions for what goes on here. True, if there's illegal stuff being put on, they have the obligation to have to take it off. Okay, but then it like ban Alex Jones. Like, what gives them the right to do that? Because if they can do that, then that means that they should be held responsible for all the bootleg Metallica songs for the last 20 years that they've made money off of, while blaming the uploaders. Sure, they'll remove it and somebody will put it back up. Cha-ching, cha-ching, but to who? Google. You know what I mean? Like, it's a fucking scam, dude. It's a fucking scam, and it got upheld by the Supreme Court. So, I don't know. I say honey, sugar, etc. If women don't like it, good. Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. A lot of women do like it. But I know my mom didn't like it, and she raised me like that, So it's just like instilled in me to behave that way. I had a woman get mad because I called her ma'am. I said, "Have it your way, cunt." She flipped out, and I left. Yeah, I mean, my dad died when I was barely 4 years old. I know what that is like. It's not easy. I should be an Australian, as much as I love using that word. Okay. I was raised by women, but you can recover from that, my fuck. Were we all raised by women? Maybe that's why we all think like this. And all the women hate us, probably. And they're the ones that created us. Hey, ladies, this is what you get when you kick the man out of the house. All right? Get a bunch of Grady Georges and Mitches and Victor Von Derps out here, baby. See, I just went against my ethos and I called every woman baby. But I'm not actually talking to anyone, you know. I would never do that in real life. If we were going to get mad because you skipped comments, we probably would have left when the audio is we're chill, Grady. That's cool. Grady, I'm a little more socially liberal. We noticed, dude, nobody is perfect. It's okay. Oh my god, yeah. You know, yeah. See, I knew that guy's name, but like I'm kind of out there right now. But yeah, that Luke Magnotta guy. Have you seen that documentary? Oh, he tuned out for a little bit. No. I guess there's like no way he's gonna watch that. Yeah, I can't handle that shit either, but they didn't actually show it in the movie. They just like described it and stuff. But they did show parts of him, like, you know, like he had the cats, you know, and stuff. Like before he killed them. I'm very sensitive. Oh, I'm very sensitive when it comes to animals. I can't handle even hearing about this. Oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah. Well, I mean, this is like a real like the whole thing's about these like really pro cat people. Like, they're the ones that were like the only people that cared about, you know, this guy getting justice. Really, you know, that's how they found him, because these cat people wouldn't fucking stop from the internet. You know, so it's kind of cool from that level, you know. An ironic aspect of YouTube is they will demonetize the channel, yet still run ads on it and profit from it. Isn't there a word for having someone work for you without pay? Yeah, exactly. Single moms have created a broken society. I heard Dennis Prager say, men kill people, women kill societies. He ain't wrong. Yeah, I mean, I often wonder how it was back in the day. I mean, I feel like in the modern era, women kind of rule men. I mean, do you think it's always been that way? 'Cause I feel like women can like really mind fuck men like easily and shit. Like I feel like women are more intelligent than men, to be honest with you. And I love talking to women, you know. And I think it's because I just grew up talking to a lot of women, you know. That's why too. I'm more awkward talking with men, and because they're literally the shit they talk about is like just dumb shit, dude. But women like more open minded. They like to conversate. But I feel like women have a lot of control over, you know, how what the things men do. You know what I mean? And they have a lot of ways to achieve that goal. But there's also a lot of women that get abused and stuff like that. You know, it works both ways. I've known women who have been completely brutalized uh, by men physically, and I have known men have just been completely broken, demoralized, and literally left with a nothing by women in the most heartless of manners, man. You know what I mean? The kind of shit, if it happened to you, just if you imagine it, you would just want a neck. You know what I mean? But really, it has happened to them from people. You know, so I mean, I'm not gonna say like I just feel like we all in general have this fucking problem. You know, I don't think it's men or women. You know, but we all have our own problems, and we're all kind of the same thing. You know, I know we're not the exact. To me, it's like a man and a woman come together and form like the thing. You know, but you could also be gay and do that too. The only thing is, like, you wouldn't have an offspring, you know. But nowadays, with technology and everything else, probably very soon you won't be able to say that. 2 guys and 2 women probably will be able to have children where it's like exactly blended, you know, made of them, and they'll probably just be like anybody else, you know. And I really feel like thinking that that's not going to happen is very naive. So you kind of just have to go with it, man, you know? I mean, I'm willing to go with some stuff, you know what I mean? I have my limits. Like I said, I'm almost to the point because I don't believe there's any way to fix the problem, okay? I thought 10 years ago we could have fixed this problem we're having in America. At this point, we're in a very slow decline. They printed up so fucking much money, man. And it is worthless, you know. I mean, so we could do this over 15, 20 years till we get to misery. Or we just let it fucking go, man. Let's start the fucking North America Union thing if they fucking want, man. Let's fucking do it, dude. Fuck it. But we gotta demand that it's basically America. You know what I mean? That's what the fight's going to be. They can't change. It's going to be America, but it's going to be Mexico and Canada. It's going to be here too. It's going to be America, and we'll call it North America Union or whatever, man. But it ain't going to be like in Canada, Mexico. They have they can still have their culture and stuff, but it's close enough, you know. Like it's not like we're bordered by some totally different culture, you know. Pretty much all the same. For the most part. Let's just fucking do it. Let's just like pop the fucking thing. Let's pop well, I'm not even talking about the North American Union, right? I mean, let's talk let's just go ahead because we're probably on the same boat, right? Go ahead and pop Canada, pop US, pop Mexico, and just make it, you know, all one big fucking new thing. North America now, okay? We come up with a new fucking state. Let's just get it over with. Let's start it fucking now, right? I'm done fucking talking about this shit, man. The time to talk was 10 years ago. And believe me, on my old show, I used to talk about it all the time, dude. This is like nothing new to me. At this point, man, it is over, dude. So you have to take some concessions, man. Some things are going to fucking change, dude. And we still have control of that. You know, we don't have to fucking take what they're going to try to offer to us. Let's just go ahead and realize that we are fucked and there's no way to fucking fix it. And let's fucking just, you know, come to an agreement and do it, man. You know, so many Mexicans wanted to come here anyway. I mean, Canada only got 20 million people. Who give a fuck, you know, what they think. I mean, I know that's their fucking land and all that, but whatever, dude. I mean, come on, dude, you know? Some of those Canadians are a little snooty on that east side, but I tell you, I got nothing but love for Vancouver, that area. You know, I love BC. Those people are fucking awesome, and they love me too, usually. And a lot of my influences in comedy and everything growing up, you know, a lot of those people were from Canada, you know. Men lying after they manipulate the hearts of women create single mothers. Ponder that blame game. Yeah, I know. I mean, it's pretty much what happened with my parents. You know what I mean? Dude, my dad was married like 9 times. You know, my mother was his second wife, and not only did he have these wives, but he had a lot of girlfriends too. And one of them was a nudist who was like 20 years old, man, and she was like Puerto Rican. So I would go stay with him on the weekend, and I'm pretty sure my dad was out fucking some other chick, and he would make the nudist Puerto Rican chick watch me, and she would be sitting there butt ass naked with a big ass fucking bush, crying, talking about how she hates my dad while she's watching me, and I'm like 12 years old with a big fucking boner. You know, I'm sorry to say, because I was 12 years old. There's this naked fucking Puerto Rican chick that was honestly not bad looking. I mean, she was only like fucking like what, like 7 years older than me. So yeah, I've had some fucked up experiences, man. I'll tell you the only thing my dad did. I don't even want to tell you the whole story because I got a very long story of this. But basically, my dad, one day, he only had one talk with me. Right, he sat me down and he played me. He had on a VHS tape. He had that video, Meatloaf, "Paradise by the Dashboard Light." And he fucking played me that video, right? And he like turned to me and he was like, "That song, that's all you need to fucking know." And he fucking stood up and walked out of the room. That's the only thing my dad ever gave me. But I have to tell you, man, that did come in handy. Yeah, I'm pretty like I read the Satanic Bible when I was like 9. And I'm pretty sure that like my dad and my uncle, who was my my mom's brother, lived in a house together. So when I stayed with them on the weekends, my uncle had all these fucked up books and shit. And he had the Satanic Bible, and I used to sit there and read the fucking Satanic Bible at like 9. I read it like more than once. Like Minnie Manson was like, "Did you understand why it was good?" I was like, "Yeah, I totally understood it," even at that age, because that's all I did was read back then. And I was like really weird, man. I didn't like any fucking toys at all. I just like to read. And I don't really like fiction at all. Like I was like a hardcore news junkie for like a long time, dude. I would just be like reading like every bit of fucking news. Like, I mean, I was just like crazy about it, but the news has turned to fucking junk, you know? And now it's all going to be written by like AI or something. It's just like, whatever. That's a whole nother topic we can get in on. Let me write that down. So I don't know if you know, but they're like literally, they're going to start writing the news with the AI. I don't think that's a good idea. Like AP is like, has already said they're like just going to use like an AI chatbot to write the fucking news. So it isn't that women are more intelligent. That's the programming talking. They're more socially adept and have better language skills. Hmm. Yeah, I could be programmed. I mean, I like I said, I am programmed by my mother. You know, and my mother was pretty feminist. You know, but not like they are now today. Like she thinks like I mean, she would have thought the. Well, I mean, before she passed away, she thought the rainbow haired people were kind of crazy. She didn't go that, but she was like that first wave. And I'm the product of that, ladies. I mean, I hope that I really don't think that my mother did a bad job, or other people. Your guys' mothers don't seem like they did a bad job either. You know what I mean? In fact, you guys seem like some of the more level-headed people I've met online. But maybe that's just because we have that same mindset, dude. You know what I mean? Maybe we're all brainwashed. Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe it's time for us to get naked and roam the forest like real men used to do back in the day. And it wasn't even gay at all. We were just hunting nude. Well, I mean, look, women were held back for quite a while. I mean, it hasn't been like it is now forever with women in the workplace. Like my mother, she had a management position, but I mean, like, it wasn't easy for her because it was a very male-dominated field. Like, she literally was like the only woman out of like 16 managers or something, so. And there is a boys club, dude. Okay, there's like everybody thinks like if you're white or something, you're in the club or something. No, but there is a club, dude, and I'm not in it. You know what I mean? I don't want to sound like George Carlin here. But I mean, even on the local level, you know what I mean? There's people, they group up, They're in your family, okay? You have your family, but probably really your family scattered into like 3 different groups that you guys could go to war with each other over, family decisions and shit like that, What the fuck am I talking about? I've been going on for 3 hours now. Women control the access to sex. Not if you're gay, right? Yin and yang, I agree with that one. Yeah, that's my thoughts on it. But I mean, I guess you could be like that if you're gay too. I mean, why not? The only thing is you wouldn't have offspring. But then you think, like I was saying, they have all this technology. They probably are going to be having their own offspring. You can't deny that they probably will be. So at that point, how are they any different than any other couple? Once again, technology making a pot. That's what I'm saying. Like somebody was saying the other day, Drizzle's never going to have a cock. I think Drizzle might actually have a cock pretty soon. Like within the next 10 years, maybe. It's probably going to start off with corpse cocks, I bet. This is my prediction. And they probably won't even need to start off like this, but it's going to be like, they always do everything like experimenting on people style, right? So it's going to start off with cadaver cocks. And people have donated, after they've died, and everybody's, I'm donating my dick. That's going to be the big joke, for the lesbian, I'm donating my dick when I die, And they're literally going to be taking the dead dicks. They're going to be like attaching them. This is my thing. And over time, you're going to figure out how you're just going to take a pill and you're going to grow a fucking dick, dude. And it's probably going to be some kind of genetic altering thing, you know, procedure. Where they go in and like change a gene or something, and then you fucking just grow a fucking dick. I was just reading the other day, some Japanese company just came up with a pill that'll make you grow your teeth back, no matter how many fucking times. And it switches some gene off in your body. Now, my everybody's yaying about it, but my fear of it is I know from studying the Human Genome Project that you can't, I mean, if you flip off a gene, that shit controls all kinds of different things, man. It's not like each gene only controls one thing, you know. So I'd be scared to get a fucking gene flipped off, you know. Unless somehow they figured out how to do it more advanced nowadays. Thank you, marginalized individuals. I think centralized government is foolish. I believe local government is preferable. Yeah, me too, man. I don't want any centralized anything. Like I said, man. I love state rights. A lot of people, liberal people, and it's always like potheads and gay people. They'll get up in my face about state rights, and I'll say, dude, if it wasn't for state rights, you would have no gay marriage, and you would have no marijuana legalized anywhere, bro. Get your head out your ass, man. State rights is where it's at, dude. That gives us so much power to change stuff, man. Because if we didn't have that, there would be no reason for them to change anything, dude. Okay? That's why it's important. Stop being party boy and start thinking with your fucking mind. Start worrying about your own ass. Stop being the mouthpiece for other people's problems like you ain't got none, man. I don't know who I'm talking to, by the way, but, you know, there's somebody out there like, yeah, fuck this guy talking to me like that. I'm just talking into the wind. What the fuck? Can't agree. The weird fuck mentality doesn't apply at Bunker Hill, and yeah, well, they weren't fucked though. You know what I mean? At this point, we are fucked, man. And what I'm saying is not giving in. I'm just saying, man, this way, why not just merge with Canada and Mexico and make a new thing? I'm not talking about a North American Union. I'm not talking about that, because that's what they want to do, right? Like we'll all be in misery over like the next 15, 20 years with high inflation, but they'll bring us to our knees and they'll say, hey, we got this plan, the North American Union. No one's ever even heard of it before, but now all of a sudden, you know, and we're kind of just doing it like this anyway, and we just like do this thing, and then we come out and, you know, no, fuck that. Let's just blow it. Let's Canada, Mexico, you know, fuck these people, man. Let's come together and form a whole new fucking country, whole new currency. Let's start the fuck over, backed by gold, you know. I mean, let's fucking do it. Fuck it, man, you know, but make it more like America, like not, you know, the stuff with the, you know, whatever. I don't want to get into it, but I feel like we're kind of close enough anyway that we could probably come to terms, you know, and live with it. You know what I mean? But just fucking do it. Because what I'm saying, it's going to happen anyway. It is going to happen anyway. There's no way to escape it. You know? What I'm suggesting is we don't let them have it. And we just take it back and we start a whole new thing. Fuck it, you know? By the way, all that money we owe you, it's backed by nothing. It's printed up pieces of paper. You know how much money you lost? Nothing. What have we been buying with this printed up pieces of paper? Cheap plastic shit that fucking breaks after fucking one use. You know? Fuck it, man. Who's getting hurt? The Federal Reserve prints up paper, right? and gives it to us with interest due. So we don't pay him back. What do they lose? What do they lose? Fuck it, man. Just, we end it, man, and we start a new thing, dude. No war, nothing. We just agree that we're fucked. Let's start a new fucking thing. I bet it would fucking go gangbusters. You know? I bet it would be rolling like a motherfucker. Yeah, I agree with that, Victor, but how much of that is programming, though? You know what I mean? Have women always wanted the bad boys, do you think? Or is it just in the modern era with the television programming? Because, like, my grandmother, I don't think she wanted some bad boy. She wanted, like, a military guy. And most of the chicks back then did, too, because they were kind of programmed to want these guys. Because that would make guys sign up, you know? Now you're hitting on the truth, Grady. Embrace masculinity. This is where I'm a bit more socially conservative. So far behind. I don't even know like what you're referring to. I can imagine, you know, what I've been talking about. I think the valid, well-spoken point was referring to the IQ differences in men and women that I laid out. Okay. Why not merge with Canada's sorry about like freedom of speech and right to bear arms? That's what I'm saying, and we'd still have to have all that. You know what I mean? In the new country. Wait a minute, don't they have they have guns in Mexico, don't they? Pretty sure they do. I mean, probably not. I mean, maybe not legally, but I mean, you know. No, I feel like the farmers and shit have guns, you know. Mm. See, I always thought that was kind of like by force, though, you know. Maybe not. Backed by goal, yes. Dude, what I'm talking about is it's basically America, right? But we include Canada and Mexico, and we just make it one big thing, and they can like, you know, it's like how we run America, right? You have your, you know, there's very liberal and very conservative areas. They can be like that too. You like kind of, I'm sure some of Mexico will become more American, and there'll be areas that'll be like very like they want to be like the old Mexico style, and you know, it'll be like that here. That'll be like the new liberal and conservative, you know. Canada, I mean, do they even care? I mean, I don't know. I feel like Canada just like, well, yeah, whatever, you know. Maybe not. What I was saying was that I really think that back in the day, those were like arranged, right? Women didn't pick their own mate. They didn't go out on dates and shit. I mean, I'm talking about like back in the fucking day, dude. Not modern era. I mean, like you just like buy somebody's fucking daughter and that's your fucking wife. You know what I mean? And usually the guy doing that's some hard ass motherfucker has been going around taking everybody's money, taking all their shit. He's not always the smartest guy. He's got everybody's shit because he's a fucking hard ass motherfucker, and he just bought your fucking daughter. You know, I thought that's how it went. I didn't think it was because they loved the bad boys. Hmm. Aha. Good one, Victor Von Derp. Yeah, I was watching that movie. What is it? I really love this movie. It's a Mel Gibson movie. Apocalypto. I love that movie, right? But there's like this love story with the Indian people, and I mean, I really don't think that was how it was, man. Maybe it was like that back then. It was almost like they were kind of like dating and stuff. They were like just getting married, or I mean, I don't know. It was kind of weird. I don't really think it was like that, but maybe it was. Have you ever seen? Oh, what's that movie? We have to pick one to discuss. If we're going to discuss modern women, let's do it. If we want to discuss the 1500s, great. Pick one, but don't waffle back and forth. Well, no, what I'm saying is that women have been unequal for a large amount. I mean, you can't deny that. You know what I mean? So of course, men have an advantage. Like once you just like say, okay, we're equal now. You know what I mean? Of course, men have an advantage because they've always been like, you know, we have that mindset, whatever. And there's also the boys club, dude. You know, and I think that's getting less and less, but there's always these people that, you know, we're families, right? We come first. I can't lose my job. I have a kid. Me too, Fred. I got your back, you know, and they're like always looking, you know, trying to get the fucking like young dude out of there, all that fucking shit, you know. You don't just go to work, man. It's like a whole political fucking thing going on, dude. And let me tell you, there's like there's like an Illuminati in your office, man. There always is, dude. You know, like the Illuminati on a smaller fucking scale. A little secret society. They're over there in the last couple of cubicles, and they're working against you for real. And they're smiling in your face, pretending they like you. You gotta. I mean, look, dude. Grady George wasn't born yesterday. Hmm. So you're saying like back in the day, women and men were equal? I mean, I don't know, man. First of all, I I'm enjoying the conversation, but I've been going like 3 hours and 30 minutes. I'm maybe kind of getting a little hoarse, you know. And I'm kind of out there, and I want to be able to talk to you like on a like you know straight up with my thoughts and feelings on that. So I'm not trying to dodge it, but I kind of want to just like wait. Like I'm going to try to do another show tomorrow. Um, but also I want to say, And John B., you just got here. I'm going to try to do a Night Freaks tonight. I'm going to try to do Your Morning Turns to Darkness and a Night Freaks all this week. That's my goal. I am not SJW, and I've always been this way. I used to always say the same shit back on Battle Cam, John B. I mean, I think I can't be funny. I can't say the shit I used to say. You know, my comedic style might be outdated. Maybe I should bring it back, but YouTube ain't the place to do it. I didn't vote for Biden. Like, no fucking way, dude. Like, no fucking way in hell I voted for Biden. Thank you, John B. Oh my god, that guy, dude. Fuck. You know what that means when we see that guy? It means I gotta get the fuck out of here. So until next time, or tonight, or at midnight Eastern time, I'm going to try to do a Night Freak. So that's my goal. So if you're around tonight...
Stop the insanity!
Come on by. It's going to be insane. But anyway, till then...
Hey man, just want to let you know that sometimes you gotta shut the fuck up. And this current time is just one of those times you gotta shut the fuck up. I don't think you're a bad person. I just don't want to hear you talking anymore. You gotta...
Security for Mr. George provided by Bond International Security of Anaheim.